Good now, everybody, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. It is Tuesday. It is May 7th, the year 2024 of our Bitcoin, of our Lord Satoshi, or whatever people are saying these days. Oh my gosh. We sound like crazy people, but I guess we always do. Used to it by now, huh? Used to it by now. This is the Rise Up Morning Show. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Evan. If you're just seeing me on your For You page, thank you for hanging out. His name, he's so on top of the button this morning. I see Dave's here, Unnecessarily Crypto. Robbie's here. Man, I love it when everybody just comes on in right at the start. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Hey, dude. What's going on?
Oh, there we go.
You making it?
I'm
You look thrilled to be on a broadcast with me.
I gotta declutter my desk today. It's an absolute travesty.
You want to feel better about your desk? Let me tell you what. My desk is kind of like my jobs. Here's how we'll start the show today. Hey, Robbie, don't worry while your signal clears up. This is what we'll do. Just look at my desk, okay? Now I'm going to make sense of it for you. Here's some dying flowers. There's a Santa hat and some Easter bunny ears. That's a fake earring. Phone chargers, pencils, drafting pencils, stickers galore. There's guitar picks, sticky notes, songs, notebooks, tax stubs. I mean, listen, man, under here I've got like notepads, the soundboard. I've got whiteboard marker. I mean, I just have crap. Look at all my. I've got a tennis ball for Lucy. I've got a fanny pack. I think that's Sour Patch Kids. I'm pretty sure these are old car keys. I feel like my desk is like the equivalent of some people's, like some men have workshops. I have a desk.
Fair enough.
Do you feel any better? Is that helpful at all? I hope it gave you just enough OCD to make you grateful for what you have.
I was going to interrupt you and say, Evan, showing me your cluttered desk isn't going to make me feel any better. But I wasn't prepared for that much clutter, and I do feel better, so thank you.
I've got a mallet. I've got sunglasses. I've got a salt rock over here.
I do have one of those.
We're this is the Cluttered Desk Club. The rest of my office is really okay, but the desk is ready. I need to take these books back to the library. I don't know about you, but I have this habit where I go to the library and I have a bunch of books that I intend to read, and what happens is I just end up getting them, and then I keep them for a while, and I hope to accumulate the knowledge by osmosis.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But but they're great books. I know they're good, so. Welcome, everybody. Let us know how your desk is. Let us know what you're doing this morning, where you're tuning in from. Especially if you're a first timer, say hi. Especially if you're a regular, say hi. And anybody in between, we're here for you to answer your crypto questions. Hi. Share some helpful. Yeah, don't say hi if you're anybody in between. Helpful news, commentary, and answers to your crypto questions. That's what we're here to do. But we'll be joined in a little while by our good friend, Mr. Mack Lorden. And, Tori's here. This seems as good a time as any to tell you that not only are we on this stream from, Monday to Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, we are also on YouTube at Faceless Labs. You can sign up for the free Rise Up Morning Show newsletter by tapping either of our faces. You get all the best bullet points from the show. Alex, I did hear from somebody that they get the email, but the text appears like black on black. So Let me know if you're one of our people also, if that has ever happened to you. You should be getting a real clean, formatted, easy to read, high contrast email. If you get something that is unreadable, bad, please tell us, because we need that feedback. We want to figure out what's going on with you. And then the final thing is, thanks to Tori and to Robbie, we have the official Warpcast channel of the official morning show of the official Financial Revolution, or whatever it is by now. All the officials, and now it's on Warpcast. If you're on Warpcast, join the channel. It's /RiseUp. You'll find it. It's super cool, super sparse for now, which means we need you to help us populate it. So post about the show, post about tokens you're watching, post about questions you have, post and build community there, because Warpcast is the place to be for decentralized socials. If you're not on Warpcast, tap my face, tap his face, use the referral code. It'll help us out, help the show. And big shout out to Tori. Thank you very much. Big shout out to Robbie. Thank you very much. That more or less, in my mind, makes you like, some of the first sponsors of the show, the official Warpcast sponsors of the Rise Up Morning Show. So rise up to that. Very cool. Hashtag rise-up. Thank you very much, Tori. Let's make it a cool place. Alex, we've already got a question rolling in. What do you think about Soul Nick? Like Saint Nick maybe, but Soul Nick. And also, while we're looking it up, can we get an update on Limu?
Oh, it rugged.
Oh, it rugged.
Yeah, it rugged in the wee hours of the morning. It got massive. And they pulled a shitload of money out of it.
Wow.
I will say that I've noticed Dex Screener has made a small interface improvement with scams. I don't think they do a good job at all of flagging known scams. I reached out to let them know because it's so piss poor that it's honestly like borderline, like they almost deserve to get in trouble for some of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they do have the little audit thing, but the audit like buttons are, one, not very consistent, and two, they're in the like bottom right corner of everything. In
the place you have to scroll most to get to.
Like, yeah, if every one of your pre-auditors has flagged it as a known scam, it needs to be like, they need to put something on like front and center, just like, hey, like CoinGecko has it. There's a yellow alert banner on the top of anything that they have any sort of potential confusion about or any qualms about it. So Dex Screener needs to do something like that. I don't know if they will respond to me, but it's horrible how garbage they are at it. But I did notice that they at least don't let them be on the trending page. So it got up to 2, and then within another hour or so, it was removed from trending, even though transaction volume was increasing. So they at least went in there and pulled it off, which is better than nothing, I guess.
I wonder if you mentioned community auditors. Are there people who gain like reputational credit or points or something for contributing to audits on that platform? Do we know?
Not that I know of.
I would be maybe for and skeptical about that, but there was a scam I heard about not long ago where somebody, maybe it was on the Ethereum Foundation, maybe it was on Reddit. There was a great TikTok, I think it was a Reddit forum or maybe Wikipedia. It was some sort of community moderated forum that is pretty important for the internet, where a person had spent years building reputational credibility and capital in order to like hack this system. By the time that, they executed the hack, everyone trusted them and they had the keys, so to speak. So I could see somebody like playing a long con and taking advantage of that system, though I don't know what it would be on Dex Screener, unless it was just like, you wanted to launch a meme token and everybody trusted the platform enough to call it a scam and then got so complacent with the mechanism that they invested in it anyway, even if it was, I don't know, a hoodwink, as it were.
Yeah. No, I think that could be, that would be a really cool idea, to be honest, because you can make,
especially if there's like some tipping or something involved, even if it's just points tipping, like Dex points, this person spotted the scam. They were the first to do it. Congratulations.
There is honestly no need to take it past Reddit karma. And then, you can reward or incentivize people other ways. But yeah, literally just because it would be way more worth it to have people like sitting there, 'cause they have two things, right? They've got their little like emoji reaction, which means fuck all. Like some people may use it legitimately, but everyone else just puts the shit emoji on everything, and that's not helpful. It's not inaccurate, but it's not helpful. And Yeah, that would be really cool. I would I think that I'm gonna try to DM them one more time, and if they don't answer me, then I'm just gonna tweet at them and then try to send everyone over to help me get some engagement going on the tweet because
Yeah.
at
Okay.
some point, and both of them, tools and screener, they both need to make an improvement.
We
And
could do it, and I don't know if they're on Warpcast, but Machiste was saying he's got a whopping tip allowance now of 7, which means that you and I probably have like 0.07. I would be willing to bet. Wow.
I'd have to go. I was gonna say how the last time I looked, mine was like 277.
They ended the most recent season of the airdrop distribution, so everybody's tips got big time slashed. But as a result, hopefully DGen will become a more valuable, precious thing, and people will be able to do more with it. Whenever I find out what mine is, I'm giving it to Tori for setting up the channel. Machiste, go check out the channel. It's sparse. Go post something cool in there at warpcast.com/rise-up. I have this Solnick token pulled up, and I see some folks asking about some others. So don't worry, we're writing them down. We got them on a list. Alpha AI, we can definitely check it out. Ev Dappelon, I saw you tagged me, but good morning. I did not see if you had a question, so let me know if you had another question. Solnick, Alex, let me tell you about this token. This is a meme token. It's been around since the 20th of January. It looks like 2024 is when it launched. And it really embraces the Solnick, the Solana hedgehog. And over time, it looks like it's had kind of an up and then a down. Looks like it might have peaked in February, come back up. Total market cap right now, 1.8 million. Liquidity, 200,000. It's climbing in the last 24 hours. The part, that gets my attention most is there's a widget that says this is a community takeover token. A community claimed ownership for this token on April 16th, 2024. The project was abandoned by the developer. They have no involvement. They've sold all their holdings. We've created a new website, Telegram, Instagram, TikTok. Also drafted a white paper, also listed on CoinMarketCap. CoinGecko listing is pending. The fastest meme on the Solana blockchain. When I go to the website, it's cute. No data, just vibes. You can enter the site and see some colors. They've got this like kind of Sega branding. So, in terms of like somebody has really had a lot of fun with this. The community probably loves it very much. Looks like you can scroll around and maybe even like play a game on this site. Probably not with my computer, but that's kind of cute and fun. And when I check it out on the docs page, it looks like these guys are trying to be like a legitimate meme coin. And what I'm personally interested in is the details of the community takeover because we talk a lot about this. Community takeovers are in a lot of cases not going to make it. It's a wishful thinking kind of thing. But let me see. Oh, maybe it's not going to tell me. Hold on. Background, tokenomics. Original developers abandoned the project. The community rallied behind Yaboyski. The name inspires confidence to lead the takeover. Solnick aims to be more than just a meme. It's a vibrant ecosystem where holders actively participate. Community takeover. Yaboyski, trusted community member, stepped up to guide Solnick's future. His transparent holdings and reliance on trust ensure Solnick remains decentralized and community driven. It's got some stuff about a supply. It's got some stuff about yada yada. I don't know. I wouldn't mind a little more details if that's what they're trying to do. There are meme economy, NFT marketplace, online casino. And like I say, they've got some attention. It looks like if you bought when it was dipping, you probably had a good time. But if you're one of these community members who survived the rug or who bought in when it was going to the first top, you might be kind of a salty bag holder. Looks interesting. I don't know, in the sense that, like I said, I'm not too terribly interested in community takeover tokens. I feel like if you're not, I don't know. I already have a community on crypto TikTok. And I don't know that I buy into the hopium of like, there are 2 Sonic movies coming out this year. Maybe we can sponsor the movie. I don't know. I don't know.
What? So wait, I got a question for what's Devin? Who's Devin?
Yeah, who's Devin? It looks like the developer abandoned this, and the people, they did a whole new website and everything, and they're not. They don't disclose who the original dev was. LOL, no way Sega partners with that, yeah, to be fair. But what do you guys think? Let us know.
Yeah.
I think the guy that set it up, and Devin, that like one name with the Y, I wonder if that's one of those known scanners that I remember from a Zach XVT thread. I will say, the website is cute. Sorry. And they've got this like 32-bit music going on, which, nice job. I would say I would have more confidence if this is like a total brand new token, personally, and I'd never seen it before, and you weren't trying too hard. I feel like meme coins that try too hard just aren't going to make it, unless they've already made it.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Here's my, I don't know. I'm trying to formulate this into a more coherent thought, but with stuff like that, you're kind of trading one set of bad for a different set, which is you have to hope that the comeback narrative with this particular meaningless project is strong enough to do something to make it worth your time. However, the good news is that it's not a honeypot. So you at least have that going for you, and the fact that it seems to have some attention, because there's 2,000 holders, but the daily volume, 24-hour volume is 77 grand, which is by meme standards and what's running pretty bad. If I look at, I guess we could sniff it real quick and just see what it says.
Oh yeah. I do see him on TikTok. Yaboyski, Devin Gaevsky. God above all, not financial advice. Price predictions. And the last line of his bio says, "Your king has spoken." I don't know if this is either great satire or I'm wary about it. His third video has a headline that says, "I called the bottom on the day," which makes me a little nervous, I won't lie.
Yeah, there's nothing in rug check that would point out that this was like terrible or built maliciously. So it's probably just a bad project to be in.
Yeah, I'm turned off right now. I'm big time turned off.
So there's mutable metadata, which is kind of that one that I just refuse to participate in unless I know exactly why it's mutable. Because there are legitimate reasons that you would build something that way. Like I said, we literally built a project that way, but for a super specific reason, and that's very public knowledge. This, I mean, unless I'm just missing something, because of course, I haven't done like a deep dive into it, but you don't really deep dive shit coins. You just sort of take a temperature and then hope for the best.
Yeah. Robbie, right now we're looking at a token called Solnick upon audience request. And we've also got a request up next to look at a couple of other tokens. We've got what do we have here? Nicole, you asked about Katana Inu, and then we also had someone ask about hold tight. What should I do with my AIOZ? You can't touch it, so I don't know. Personally at this point, unless they do something, I would use it to try and prop up your digital armchair in the metaverse if it's wobbly. Thoughts on Alpha AI also?
With the Katana, which one are we talking about? Because there's like 4,000.
I don't know. Can you bump us again, Nicole, and let us know? And then folks, if you've got thoughts and opinions, good jokes, words of wisdom on these tokens too, let us know. I'm gonna Alpha AI. I'll look at that one if you want to look at Katana Inu. And I do have to tell you, yeah, I don't know, Yaboyski, Devin Gajewski, I probably would follow him because, he's on crypto TikTok and I like to keep tabs on everybody. But he does have a video called I Called the Bottom on the Day Months in Advance, where he does what you always pick on, Alex, about it looks like he made a lot of predictions and then captured a screenshot and then made a video about why we should listen to him in the future, which also includes a video grab from another video titled Beta Males, This Video Is Not For You. So honestly, it's a no from me, dog. Unless this is just like killer satire and it's so good it went over my head. That would I'm not that's not the leader of my community, man. He has a playlist called Nana Boo Boo Stickface. I don't know, maybe, I can't tell. Anyway, Alpha AI, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about AIOZ too. I used to hold that token. Do you have any thoughts on AIOZ, Alex, while we're looking these other ones up?
Not even one.
So if I was gonna check it out again, AIOZ seems to me like, it's for people who don't know, it's a decentralized social media play, and they've kind of pivoted and evolved over the years. I would have to check up on them again. But I seem to remember that they wanted to use the token to incentivize some sort of ecosystem, at least one component of which was watch term. They may have evolved beyond that, but anybody who's developing that kind of solution, what I really am looking for more than anything else is like, what is the product you've built? Are people using it? Is the community people excited about testing it? Like this is a Reddit, this is a YouTube, this is a Twitter, something like that. If all people are interested in is the token and the hype is gone because no product has been delivered, or a product has been delivered and it isn't good, or people aren't interested in iterating it, then I would say if you're investing, it might be a good time to, especially if you're feeling overexposed, take some of that and move it into something else that's gonna make you feel better. Maybe even cash for your groceries. Alpha AI. Oh, Nicole, I don't know which one it is. I've got two. Have we been farming Friend Tech LP, Alex? No. Is it worth it now that it's totally tanked?
Okay. That's it. So this Katana one is super old. It's over a year old.
Okay.
The only red flag that I'm finding flagged on any of the quick audits is that the liquidity is not locked. But this thing has a $35 million market cap with $1 million of liquidity. I mean, so generally on anything like this, not even without even like, looking further, I guess just like why,
Yeah.
Like-
And I would say if you suggest a project, we'll totally look it up and give you our first glances. But the most helpful thing you can tell us, and I know the comments are character limited, tell us why you like or don't like it. Like look up, I don't know, Elon's dad. Heard it was actually building a wallet, or I don't know. The dev is literally Elon's dad or something like that. You know what I mean? Like give us some context and help us too. Because we always want to know why you like this or don't like it. Because spoiler alert, Alex and I, we're like those old guys who hang out on the lawn together and yell at the kids. We probably don't like, not that we'd be unfriendly about it, but we don't like probably 99% of the tokens we touch. You know what I mean? Would you say? I might be highballing it, but
that's
picky.
accurate.
We're very picky.
Yeah, no. So Nicole, the thing with this is that there's like nothing remotely special about it. It's way bigger than it deserves to be. It might go up, but like if I look at just the last little smidge here, there's a ton of pretty hefty sales. People are still buying it, but like it's been around for more than a year and there's nothing remarkable about it. It's just like a useless thing that exists. So I'm always wary of stuff like this because with a meme that's pointless but only funny, the value in it is like playing the slots at a casino, right? Like you might, get in early and then they're going to rip, and then if you can get out of there in time, you might walk away with a little extra cash. With something like this, you need to like hope and pray that something happens that incentivizes people to do it. But the people who buy stuff like this, they skip projects like this one because they're looking for the little tiny one that hasn't run yet, that has a way tinier market cap, that has way more hype and attention, that's a funnier meme, or whatever it is. They don't look for something like this. This is pointless. Plus, it's already done a huge run, and now it's just going down, 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 down. Like,
does it have one of those charts? One of those slow trails?
Yeah, it's down pretty significantly from what appears to be its all-time high. They don't have any social media linked. There's no website. Really, all that you can say about this is that it appears to not be a scam. And for a project with a quote-unquote market cap of 35 million with almost 8,000 holders, and multiple liquidity pools across Uniswap, like there's like no volume. I would personally not participate in this just because I don't see any compelling reason to. Like, it's not a funny meme as far as I can tell, and if they do have a product, they're doing a dog shit job of promoting it because there's no indication that they're doing anything. I don't know. It could go, but like the odds of it are just so low that I think your money is better spent somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'll scorch earth when stuff is trash, and this is trash.
So I've got this one. Good take. I don't disagree with any of it. I've got this one up this one's interesting because it's totally a narrative token. This is Alpha AI. And when I search Alpha AI, just first off, just Google search. I like to do this because I want to see how notorious is a project. If you search Ethereum, it's coming right up. If you search Bonk, it might come right up kind of thing. Pepe. Alpha AI, there are several companies called Alpha AI. The one we're looking for doesn't show up right away. We're looking for alphaai.finance. This is the only one that has any, kind of crypto connection associated with that name that I can tell. When I go to the website, what it appears to be is a play at a trading bot. It seems to me that it is AI because it is automated trading. And it seems to me that it is AI because it is focused on like companies innovating Web3. So it's clever marketing is what it seems like. Haven't looked into the white paper, but I can open it up. I can check out the contract. I can see what people are doing for it on Deck Screener. But honestly, what I'm really curious about is this a token that's just using the word AI to try and sell me like the speculative hype of their token? Or is this a team using AI? Because like Alex, it would actually be really cool if there was like a GPT trading bot that was very easy, like Bonk, but programmable. I don't think that's probably what this team is building based on the way their website looks, if I had to guess. Because especially, here's what they're saying, like committed to pushing the boundaries of possibility in the ecosystem, which to me sounds like they're trying to position themselves as like an OpenAI competitor. I think a mistake a lot of narrative teams make, whether they're playing into the gaming narrative, the AI narrative, the meme narrative, whatever, is they tell you they're going to be the biggest, the best. Our game is going to be the best game. Our metaverse is going to be the best metaverse. Our AI is going to be the one everybody uses. Like, I get it. There's less competition at the top, so shoot for the stars and you just might make it. But you got to have hundreds of millions of dollars to do any of those things well. And especially because you've got crypto on your name, a lot of people are going to be skeptical about giving it to you. So they have a high threshold. Like the claim is up there. But I'm going to see if they can do it. I look at their documents. This isn't bad. First of all, they've got a Git book. I like that. because that tells me they're at least serious about developing stuff. It seems to be very user friendly. And just looking through, they've got an image generator, staking, data, Telegram. So maybe this could be all right. Let's see. Opportunity, paradigm shift, charting a new course. Okay. But what do you actually do?
I completely agree with. Wait, what is this thing called, Evan?
This is Alpha AI, and the website is alphaai.finance.
Yeah,
What do you think so far?
I agree with Mishiste's take. OpenAI competitor, so taking on a business that could raise $7 trillion for R&D. Good idea. Where do I buy? My first thought is if you're entering the AI space and your mission is to take on the Titan, I have no faith in you, and I think that you're being led by a moron. Like,
this is the first sentence that makes me bullish. For crypto investors, the integration of AI into blockchain auditing represents a paradigm shift in investment strategy. So, okay, I'm into that. You can use AI to get real-time insights, predictive analytics, and risk assessment tools, enabling them to make informed decisions and navigate volatile crypto market with confidence. So, like, here's what they could have said is, wouldn't it be great if Dex Screener not only had community-powered audits, but had an AI that was learning from the community audits all the time? You could feed it contracts. You could make it smarter the more you used it. And it could be the kind of thing that could help enhance the security of your blockchain protocol. Or if you can't afford a team to audit it for you, but you don't just want to use GPT, here's our specialized GPT. But so far, again, this product is a specialized GPT. It's not OpenAI.
And like, yeah, so first of all, I would be willing to bet money that they're using OpenAI's API.
Yeah, I would be interested in that too, honestly.
Second of all, everything that you just described sounds great. Sounds like an app that deserves to exist. It also sounds like something that doesn't need a cryptocurrency. So miss me with 100%. That bullshit.
Yeah, 100%. That would be the very next thing I would want to know is like, what does your token do? Why does it do it?
I can tell you exactly what it does and why it does it. They want it. It raises money for their company because they need money, and that's it.
Yeah. Here. So, okay, here we go. I've got the token. I've got the decimals, the total supply, and it's a 100 million supply, 18 decimals. There is a pre-sale, and it looks like this. Oh, it's a pancake swap token. How interesting. They talk about buyback. They talk about liquidity. And it looks like it's a fundraising token. A lot of it is going to help their staking program. So they've got an AI image generator. They've got smart contract audit, and then staking pools.
Can you see the image generator? Because you can immediately tell which API they're using, whether they're ripping off Dolly or they're ripping off.
No, I can see it in a second, but I do see that their Pink Sale website, which is, kind of cool, they're crypto native, appears like their primary pool has been canceled. I have no idea what that means, but
I've seen nothing but red flags so far.
It makes me a little nervous. And also, here's the other thing. Think about Pink Sale. What companies use Pink Sale? Fufu, Dark Shiba, ADO, Peace, Cat, Googly. So, super innovative company. I don't know where the image generator is, Alex. I don't know if it exists yet or if it's on the roadmap, honestly, if I'm being honest. So it looks like the only thing that exists right now is the ability to stake a token, which, honestly, as I'm looking at the protocol, I'm not surprised by.
Yeah.
It's a no from me, dog. But I bet if you got in early to this token, you probably made some money, which, but I'm not holding my breath for them to innovate the future of AI, personally.
So real quick, because someone asked about NTX, I've looked no further than the homepage of Deck Screener, and I would also pass on this one. The sniff score is 50 out of 100 for some really specific reasons that are my automatic misses. So there's like very few holders. There's no liquidity lock. The ownership of the contract has not been renounced, and they're anonymous. The token is mintable, and they can pause transfers if they want. It's a $30 million market cap with 600 grand in liquidity, which is bonkers. Which means that so of the 10,000 holders, someone in an unknown wallet has 15%. Someone else has 8. Someone else has 6. So it's super top heavy. Again, it doesn't. What the hell even is this? Like, is there a reason that you picked this one out? Because I'm not seeing.
This seems like as good a time to remind everyone, Alex, that this kind of general research process we do. We cover a version of this in the Do Your Own Research video on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
And anytime somebody tells you about a token, tells you it's going to the moon, tells you you're early, there is like a 5-minute check you can do that starts with good old Google, looking for a project's website, going to CoinGecko, searching for the project, tokensniffer.com, searching for the project. And we like to use Deck Screener for the layout too. You can find all the different tools we're looking at and make the same kind of assessments in like 2 to 3 minutes. And you're going to get to a place where you feel a lot more convicted or not, like us, about any of these tokens. That's my quick PSA. The full walkthrough is on the YouTube, but Alex, please continue.
If I Google this thing, it has nothing to do with gaming. It's a DPIN project. And if it's the website looks, good and legit, and I would think it's, a valid website. So why isn't there liquidity locked, and why is the thing so abstractly top heavy? I don't know. There's like a shitload of red flags that I don't see any explanation for, but I'm still looking because they don't have any website, any documentation linked to their Deck Screener profile, which is obnoxious.
That sucks. Listen, if you're a project team and you're listening, help us out. Link the contract somewhere we can see it easy, and then link Deck Screener. We would appreciate it. I still can't believe Alpha Friends. Machiste might know. Machiste, are you in Alpha Friends, and have you found the Alpha token contract? I can't find the Alpha token contract. I don't know where the hell it is. I don't know why anyone anywhere is speculating on this token whose contract they can't see. Read the whole docs. Don't know where it is. Just a moment. Let me catch up on these chats right here. Let me see. The next project I've got on deck to look up is Thank You Base God.
So yeah, someone was asking there was 2 good questions. One was base versus ICP, and another one was as a beginner, just like a good old fashioned recap of where to get started as a beginner for.
Thank you. I just found that question and was replying to them. Welcome, KC Mad, and any other beginners. Do you want to talk about that while you're looking at this token, and I can back and forth it with you?
Yeah, I was just trying to find something helpful about this NewNet thing, because it makes no sense. Their website looks like a big legitimate project, and their Deck Screener profile looks like trash. But I also don't think the contract address that's shared is exactly the right one.
Okay. Well, keep trying to help us find that, and then while Alex is peeking, let me just get the conversation started on. Oh, Gengesh says yes, Alex. My bad. Wrong project. It is DPIN.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I guess overall, I do enjoy the idea of DPIN, and that's one of the narratives that I can actually imagine why you might want a token for. So that part seems fine. But I have major reservations about the way that they're conducting business around their token. It's horrible. I don't know who's. So this thing's been around for a long time. Like the token launched in December or November of 2021.
Oh, so a long
It's been
time.
around for ages.
Comparatively speaking.
Tremendous amount to go to ever recapture its all-time high. So for context, it's at a $30 million market cap and its all-time high is 23 cents, just about. It's currently trading at 4.5. There's very little volume. Like I said, liquidity's not locked. There's a fair number of holders. There's a bunch of people providing liquidity for it. Like all that is good. Why are transfers possible? Why is the token still mintable? Why hasn't ownership of the contract been renounced? Like none of these questions are answered anywhere. And their website's super dense. So I wish that it was a little bit more like readable. It seems like they have a fair number of like partners and backers. Their social media is fine, I guess. They're semi-active over there. Engagement's fine. It looks like everything about it looks like a legit project that's being run by people who don't really know anything about crypto. That's my impression, I guess.
Yeah. Oh shoot! Here comes Mack Lorden. Let me get him in. So he might be somebody great to ask this question to. I'm looking at Base God, so stay tuned for that, Machiste. I have lots of thoughts on that, and I think it's a great example of a lot of meme culture stuff. But let's welcome our friend Mack Lorden, and then we'll talk to the beginners. Mack, dude, how you doing, man?
Morning, fellas. How you doing?
Oh, doing
Okay.
good. Sounds like you got a babbler.
Yeah.
Is she ready for her interview?
Do you want to say hey? Any final words before I go?
Hey, girly.
Bye.
Hey, girly.
She smiled. That's gotta be worth something.
I like it.
Evan, I'm gonna jump down because my thing is doing the thing it did with Will that one time where I don't get to see Mack's camera. So let me.
Oh, Mack's
let me
not
hop
on
down.
camera.
I'm not on here.
Oh,
Yeah. Say hi.
okay. Well, that makes me feel better. There we go.
Hi. Hi, girl.
Good morning.
You too.
Hi.
Do you say good morning? Bye.
No baby on earth has ever looked at me with as much skepticism as Gia does every time.
Good. That's good.
That looks like you looking at this Katana Inu token or whatever, Alex.
Yeah, she's practicing her shitcoin auditing face.
Yeah. Give you a skeptical one for sure.
Well, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah,
How's
good morning.
things there in Miami?
Oh man, good. Life is good. How about you guys?
Life is going great. We've been doing some project research, and I'm sure people are gonna give you some questions about this or that token. But we did have someone pop in who said, "Hey, I'm new to all this stuff. The tech. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I'm kind of a beginner." So we thought we'd go around real quick and talk to that person and give them some just catch up advice. Just to get them up to speed so they don't feel like they're drowning as we talk a little inside baseball kind of thing.
All right, cool. Real
you wanna
quick,
go first?
I'm gonna give you guys a potential sponsor idea. Poppin' Turmeric here. This is turmeric by U Therapy. It is USP verified. So U Therapy, if you're out there watching.
I was going to say, the show's not sponsored by turmeric, but it could be. Get at
It
me.
honestly could be. I eat turmeric every day.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
for people who don't want to, they could supplement. There you
I
go.
imagine there's just like a big open jar and you just like grab a handful of it.
Just raw.
Yeah.
No, I put it in everything though. I shake the I'd like to get more. I'm gonna grow some, but for now I'm just using powder, and I'm putting it in smoothies. I'm putting it in oatmeal. I put it in cookies. I like turmeric, man.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm doing it more as a post jujitsu kind of thing for less inflammation. So
I got you.
The tofu scramble that I make routinely uses a lot of turmeric and nutritional yeast.
Breakfast of Champions. So Mac, you wanna go first, or you want us to lay a table? If someone's new, they're feeling overwhelmed by the crypto space, they want to learn and they want to get into a place where they can hang out and have a conversation and feel better about it. Where do they start?
why don't you start? I'm getting set up here, but
Then I will say this: the very first place to start is to head to someplace like Coinbase.com/learn, where a lot of the questions you're going to ask have been anticipated and asked by others. They're explained in really simple terms. And then the second thing that I would recommend, but what you're doing first, is to find a community of people like this who are not going to like try and sell you something, who don't want to financially advise you, but who can speak from experience about the kinds of things they've done, help you understand why they did those things, and then together, since you're all interested in the same kind of stuff, you can go check something out. I can go check something out. Mack will go check something out. And then when we come back together and we talk about it, we all learn and grow together. You can spend 24 hours a day trying to learn about this stuff. But when you're in a room with people like that, it accelerates your learning journey. And also, this is the free alpha. Go follow that chain link fence down there. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's
I'm curious what you guys what the first things you learned about when you started, because I recommend what happened to me. Sorry, I'll be out of here in a second. Jeez.
No, dude, you're fine. It's really no big deal. It's not as loud as you think it is.
But the things that were presented to me first, or the people I should say, were Jameson Lopp. I don't know if you guys know about him, and Andreas Antonopoulos. I know you know about Andreas.
Yeah, but I don't know Jameson.
You don't know? Okay, well, he's an early Bitcoin guy, but if you go to, I think it's lop.net, then there's a ton of different resources. There you go.
LOP, Mac?
LOPP.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I got him here. Cypherpunk, angel investor. Okay, yeah. Oh, this guy's legit.
He's a super OG Bitcoin guy.
Yeah, super legit.
I think, honestly, anyone who wants to learn about crypto must start with learning about Bitcoin first and understand why we're all here in the first place. You know, the whole, you know, escape from the traditional financial systems to create this new ecosystem, which ideally, in theory, is meant to be decentralized and separate from, you know, the system that got us into 2008, because that was how Bitcoin was formed, or why. You know, it was 2009 in the wake of that crash where Hal Finney and Satoshi and all those other guys were like, this is bullshit. We should just create our own currency and have the people run it, you know? Yeah, the website is lopp.net. That's a good
And I recommend, there's a tab at the top that says Bitcoin info. I'm going to type it in the chat. Oh, Alex got it. Mac is right. This is like absolutely a really written one. You can tell this guy has explained this many, many, many times and made it his job.
Yeah.
This is helpful. This is a great resource.
I don't know if it's Cointelegraph or Coin, one of those coin, like, you know, news websites has some good info at the bottom too. So that's another resource. But then also too, if you want to do more video stuff, just look at early videos of Andreas Antonopoulos. You find stuff from him. He's been talking about Bitcoin since like fucking 2013, I think. So yeah.
Alex, what about you?
Yeah, even though we're not sponsored by them and we should be, I always say I would agree. The first thing you should do just to get an idea is read the Bitcoin white paper. It's kind of dry, but it's pretty good. And if you need help kind of getting through it in the beginning, it's pretty short. You can copy paste the whole thing and send it to ChatGPT and ask it to summarize it for you and like help you decipher it. You know, highlight the key points, all that good stuff. Coinbase.com/learn is my favorite, like, first place to go because one, you don't need an account to use it. It's completely free. You don't even have to sign into a free Coinbase account to use it. You can just go to the website and read all of it, which is awesome. They have like really good, really well put together, short, simple, with graphics, explanations of like all of the important terms that you're going to need to know to get started and be able to like pick apart, you know, who's talking about what. So that's probably where I would start. From there, you can chase the rabbit down any hole that you find off of Coinbase.com/learn. There, it's going to link you out to all kinds of different stuff. You're going to find all sorts of words. You're like, okay, what is that? You know, I think the first time I ever went there, I ended up with like 40 tabs open, and it's a great place to get going. But
yeah, Yeah, and the thing about starting there, I don't know. I feel like I keep trying to find a path that will help somebody avoid like feeling the need to spend money or the risk of losing money. But I almost always feel like somebody who comes to this because they hear about the money thing, which most of them do, inevitably spends some money and loses it because they don't know how to turn it back into dollars, because they forgot about or didn't know about fees, because they click on a bad link, they get scammed, they buy a bad project. And so what I've started to say instead of like don't buy anything yet, don't buy anything yet, is like if you're going to buy something, you should buy Bitcoin first, or you should buy a stable coin first. Spend $5, and your first homework assignment should be like, now turn it back into cash. Go. Because that's going to teach you a lot. And you are not going to miss out on like the life-changing money of crypto because you didn't learn enough quick enough to get into that one token that was like that. That's not how it works. Like you will miss lots of stuff. We all miss lots of stuff. But by like taking the time to learn a little bit, you're going to make so many more better decisions than you're going to miss. Like there's lots of time, you know.
I would add to that, that's a great point, is I just made a video the other day where the question I posed to myself was, is it worth investing if I only have $100? And I said that the answer was yes, so that you could understand how the volatility affects you. Because that is a good thing to just experience, because people are not used to that. Even if you do something as big as Bitcoin, it's way different than anything else you've ever invested in. The other
Mac, really quick, your mic's a little fuzzy. Give it up. Or zhuzh, yeah.
A little bit easier.
Yep, perfect.
Better. Okay, cool.
The other thing?
Yeah, in terms, damn, I can't remember, but that was.
I rugged you. You said, okay, volatility, know the volatility, nothing's like this, and the other thing.
Yeah, well, you were talking about.
I was saying buy some Bitcoin, buy some stable coin, so you can experience, turn it back into money. Like that's your assignment. Get used to the fees, see what happens, and don't feel like you're going to miss out on the only token that's going to make you a bajillionaire.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is that there is such a term called market tuition and paying your tuition to the market. And that comes in many forms. Sometimes it comes in just making shitty trades. Sometimes in the crypto world, it comes in getting rugged. If you haven't been rug pulled in your life, then are you even a crypto investor? You know, it's like,
Really?
how long have you been here? So yeah, you need to get rugged. You need to lose some money to the market. You need to buy some dumb shit, sell your good coins for shit coins. It's all part of the process. and anyone who's a whale in crypto or has been here for years has guaranteed lost more money than you've ever thought of. So just don't feel bad.
It's kind of like joining a new karate gym and your sensei spars with you, and you there's no chance for you at all. That's like what it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he's lost more times than you ever could have imagined too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Rick Crypto here also has a good point that like you can help this process along for yourself a bit by, intaking good information and, trying to learn from people who have been through it before. But from my own experience with it, my first bull run was I behaved poorly. I did not do well. And then I learned a lot of lessons and I applied them in the second one. And then I made different mistakes the second time around. And then now I feel like I'm doing a better job. I've also on paper, I have gained less this time around, but I have materialized like almost all of it this time versus last bull run. On paper, I made a tremendous amount and I never did anything with it. And then all of it just sort of continuously disappeared. So, we would go up, it would all be green, and I'd be like, sweet, it's going up forever. And then it would all go back down. It's like, shit. Yeah. Next time I'll get it. And then it would do it again. And I'm like, no, this time's different. It's never crashing again. And then it would do it again. And I was like, shit, next time I'll get it. And I just did that all bull run. So on paper, I made a shitload of money, but it didn't turn into anything real because I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that's called round.
I also, go ahead. Sorry, Mac, were you going to say something?
Just saying, that's called round tripping your bags.
Round tripping your bags. Yeah. I also want to recommend, if you're the kind of person who, there are many different kinds of resources. Like, this is a conversational resource. You can find a lot of good stuff on YouTube. The lop.net website is probably a good, coinbase.com/learn will give you other links to follow. But if you're a book reader, I highly recommend, this is not sponsored, but it could be. He doesn't need our sponsorship. But Chris Dixon, Read, Write, Own. It's backwards, but Read, Write, Own. This is a book that he just released to sort of solve the problem of, I'm in a conversation with somebody who knows nothing about blockchain, but who's, can walk and talk and breathe and chew gum at the same time and is curious. How do I explain it to them? How do I set this up? And it's written in short, digestible bits. Somebody asked a question in the comments, for example, this thing touches on everything, but it really addresses the what and why question. Oh, go ahead, Alex. You're okay. Somebody asked a question in the comments like, we often get, isn't crypto bad for the environment? Chris talks about that. Check out this graphic. I might have to mirror my video so you can read this, because this is fantastic. Okay. Can you read the text now? Oh, you can't, because I can't hold it. Look at this. A lot of people talk about cryptocurrency is really bad for the environment, but this is the annualized energy consumption in terawatt hours of many different things. Wow. And do you see what's right at the top with the big bullet?
Yeah, banking system.
Banking system. Number 3 is Bitcoin. At the very bottom is the Ethereum network, since it moved to proof of stake. Wow. So there were a lot of headlines. You remember, Mack, Ethereum used the energy of like a small country. And proof of work, as a consensus mechanism, what Bitcoin uses to run its network, is very energy intensive. But all of crypto is more efficient than most of the technology it replaces, than gaming, than banking, than global data centers. And as it continues to improve, like Ethereum did, the energy consumption on Ethereum went down like 99%. Yeah. Now it uses a millionth a percentage of the energy of the banking system. So just imagine if we could start to replace a lot of the stuff that we do with digital, tokenized, peer-to-peer stuff. To that person who asked, which blockchain should I build on? All of them are a good option if you want to be environmentally friendly. Some of them make some ludicrous claims, but I'd look into what are called L2 networks. Base is a good one because it's popular right now. It's so weird to have mirrored video. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd say unless you're good at Rust, I would probably go for something EVM, which means Ethereum virtual machine compatible. So like Evan said, a layer 2. So something that's built on Ethereum. That way, the reason why is because we ran into this when we were running TFM in the beginning. There are like libraries and libraries of smart contracts and codes and programs that you can make that are already out there in the open that is using Solidity, which is the...
And there are no-code tools. So like people built for normies, the button to push to copy it.
Yeah, for Ethereum. So Ethereum definitely has the biggest network effect. Solana has a lot of resources like that too, where you can do no code. But if you want to like actually build something, then you'll find the biggest, I should say, the deepest roots in the Solidity, Ethereum based environments. But then second to that would be the Rust environment, and that's like Solana et al.
Yeah. I think my answer to that was Solana and Base, just because that's where all of the attention for a meme is right now. So like getting noticed is easier there. There's more people looking for that kind of stuff. And if you can do something unique and trendy, then, odds of success are a little bit higher. Base is interesting because most of the stuff that's built on Base right now is a scam. Because it's really easy to build a scam.
I would say.
Really? What?
Most of the meme stuff.
The memes, yes. Yeah, I'm specifically talking about memes. They're pretty much all scams on Base because it's like really easy to build stuff right now that's tricking all of the screening websites, so they look good.
Dude, did you tell Mack about the one we saw yesterday?
Yeah. Well, I think you saw
the video that you made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it yet. I got to check it out.
Yeah.
So it did rug. Spoiler alert! It did rug.
Dang, I was hoping it would.
It's like my bags.
Let me tell you. Yeah, I had a comment on it that was really interesting. Someone was like, Limu hasn't launched yet. I was like, not only has it launched, but they rugged. Like, it's over. It's gone. It's done. They took all the money.
They're the Internet Explorer of fucking meme coin buying.
Yeah, so this is really interesting, Evan. I might do a follow-up one just because this one rugged in a way. Like, look at the chart for Limu and tell me what you see, because it's interesting.
Hang on. I've got thank you based God chart up because Mashiste wanted to know if he was too late. Which I think the answer is no, you're not too late. We'll get to that in a minute, but let me look at this Limu. I'm like you said, I'm surprised honestly you can look it up so much. This pair has very little liquidity. Oh, how interesting. Okay. For everybody who's playing along at home but doesn't have the wherewithal or means to access a computer, look at this rug chart. Yeah. Not what I expected to see.
So what's happening here is actually, it's kind of interesting. So instead of doing what normally happens, they were running a contract that gave you like an allotment of token without actually giving you token, which is very honeypot-esque. It's one of the ways that they prevent you from selling by not actually transferring you any tokens when you buy. They just give you like an allowance of it. I don't know what the best word to describe it is. They give you.
Is it a real token or is it like a derivative?
No, like the thing that you see in your wallet is like permission to claim a token that they are never going to let you claim, and that's why you can't sell anything. That's one of the ways that honeypots build. So here, the price of the token literally cannot drop because anyone who actually holds it hasn't sold any of it, and no one else can sell any of it. So they just drained the liquidity, and now it's going to flatline right up there forever. But the price never changed, so it's going to continue to report a market cap of 3.2 million with a liquidity of $1. And so what's like wild, when I bought this thing 24 minutes in to prove the point, I'm really curious what let me see what my wallet now reports now that the rug has been pulled.
That should be your follow-up video, is like the screen grab was like, I just became a millionaire by buying this token.
Yeah, let's take a little peek.
Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah, it's a unique one. It was interesting for sure.
Hey, while you're looking at that, I have a burning question that I wanted to ask you guys previously.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they started talking about proof of stake?
Yeah.
Like when it first became a thing and people were like wrapping their heads around it.
Technology as an upgrade from proof of work.
Yeah.
Me too. Like I remember the exact moment I heard about it and I was like, wait, you can help verify the network just by having it in your wallet? That's crazy.
Yeah. It was a big, I didn't get it until I heard someone talk about it in terms of like security and incentives. And they were saying like, picture this. Instead of having to do all this energy intensive stuff, everybody who wants to participate just puts up a little, like an ante that keeps us honest with each other. They're like, it should be enough that nobody's going to want to do anything bad, because if they do, we'll take their money. And it should not be so much that it keeps too many people. I mean, now, 32 ETH to run a node is like, I don't know. I'm not just going to give you 32 ETH. I don't love Ethereum that much. I do, but that was the light bulb for me that made me say like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, seeing it work over time, I was like, yeah, I'm super bullish on proof of stake. Do you have an opinion on whether or not it's more secure than proof of work?
There's a lot of back and forth. I don't know. I see the arguments of both, because if you do, I mean, one need look no further than Ethereum to make the argument that it's more centralized, than it was when it was proof of work. Proof of work, I think, is a very pure system. So, but then I don't know. Whenever I get talking about it, I'm like, well, shit, over half the miners were in China, and like, China is a very unique situation because it's all very tightly controlled by the CCP. So you could make the argument that was more centralized, with Bitcoin. Yeah. So I don't really know. I think it really depends on the architecture that you use to set it up.
I think a lot of it has to do with like theory versus practice. I think in practice, proof of stake will become more secure because proof of work over time naturally becomes more expensive and therefore more prohibitive to most people, and ultimately will centralize as a result over time. Whereas in theory and in practice, especially as people scale L2s and L3s, people will not only be able to provide like proof of stake as individuals at a lower cost, but they will be able to like buy security and like buy. I mean, there's all these places you can go stake without staking enough to be your own validator, to like co-own, decentralize, and then strengthen the network.
Is there a world though where like the mining continues, but it reaches a threshold or a ceiling where it doesn't become cost prohibitive to the new person? Like Caspa is one of the projects that comes to mind. That's not a blockchain, but and I saw Daniel was in here. Daniel, I'd be curious to know if you have any thoughts on this too. But
Yeah, definitely would love.
is there a world where mining works, but without constantly ramping it up so that it inevitably falls into the haves versus the have-nots? That's what I wonder. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know that it's no. I think there's always an incentive for somebody with a lot of resources to come in. I don't think proof of work as a mechanism, as I understand it, the way we access it with like GPUs and compute in the context of a capitalist system, I don't think there's a world where it's not susceptible to a person with a lot of money who wants to getting more influence than somebody who doesn't have it. Daniel just said yes. We can go home, guys. Daniel, bro, if you want to give us some context and help us understand what you mean, you just tap that button, man. Just tap that button. Yeah, I remember though. If you're not into Eigenlayer, the project right now to look up that will blow your mind in terms of what's coming next. Like everybody wants to know what we think about AIOZ or Render or Beam or whatever. A project for you guys to look up and a project for you guys to look up is Eigenlayer. They're hot right now because they just released an airdrop, but what they are building on top of Ethereum, I think if the juice is worth the squeeze, and I think it is going to be like,
Okay, but Eigenlayer had caught some heavy heat for their airdrop lately.
Yeah, but I'm not. Of course they did, and I think it's well justified. But I don't think I've heard their founders talk about it. I can send you a podcast if you want to listen to it, but ultimately I think they're responsive to the community. I think they're sufficiently decentralized and working to decentralize over time. I think they made some mistakes and responded to them in a way that makes me very bullish on not just their PR, but like the future of their protocol and what they're building is, I would say it's as important as Ethereum, as like a piece of infrastructure that will make crypto bigger than crypto. And nobody gets it yet. Everybody's just focused on the points.
Okay, I'm flooded with points here. One, have you guys seen the video? You know that meme video that everyone always dubs with new words of that Mexican who's just like
laughing,
and he's like laughing crazily. That video, but the Eigenlayer version. Have you guys seen that? Because it's a piece of art.
No, I'll go check it out. Is it bagging on the airdrop and who could claim and who couldn't?
Yes, it's so funny. Crypto Banter posted it, ran.
Okay, cool. I mean, I bet it was great. I think that some of the things they've done since then is they've talked about, they've been super responsive to their community.
Yeah.
They have increased the allocation for everybody who is active.
I saw that.
Extra
100 or something like that, right?
Yeah. And it's still like, 2% of the stakers hold 90% of the stuff, but they've talked about the vesting schedule. They've talked about when folks are allowed to sell and when they're not, when others are allowed to buy in. I honestly am not hip enough to it to just like, it's too much to give you a 30-second synopsis that will make you say, yes. But the conversations I have heard with them in response to the community, in response to journalists, I'm not that concerned about it.
Got it. Okay. The only other thing I wanted to say is that it seems like airdrops are increasingly becoming not the meta. A lot of people are getting pretty upset. Like, was it ZK Snark was the last one, or maybe Layer 0 is what people are talking about now, and they're all upset about they're not getting enough because of like Sybil, basically when you use like bots to replace for activity.
Well, that's one of the things I liked about this airdrop is they were really cognizant of how they did it and going forward with like the vesting schedule and everything in order to not just like minimize bot activity. And obviously they messed up with like, who's eligible to claim. But I think most airdrops do a shit job to align the incentives. Like the team usually gets to dump on you. Early investors usually get to dump on you. It's not good. The token detracts from whatever they're trying to build because it's a shit show. I think Eigenlayer did a much better job of aligning incentives than a lot of people do.
Okay.
I think airdrops are easy if you just sit back and think about it. Great way to avoid legal trouble.
Huh? I just got an airdrop 5 seconds ago with Mode.
With what? What was it?
Mode Network. I've been talking about it for a couple months. It's a layer 2 built on optimism for DeFi.
Nice. Okay. Welcome, Daniel. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing good.
Daniel, show us your face, brother.
I don't want to.
What's the beard status at right now, dude? I feel like I haven't seen you in 10 years.
Fully shaven here. I'll turn it on.
Bring back McChicken.
Yeah, I want
Show us
to.
McChicken, dude. Hey, there he is.
Oh, you look handsome today. Not that you don't look handsome every other day, but you got like a coif.
Got a
some
great,
light.
yeah, glow and quaff going.
What's up, guys?
That's
Just hanging out with our crypto friends.
Yeah.
So, Evan, the update on the honeypot that I bought yesterday for the video.
Yeah, what's your price?
Well, I can't view it in the trader because it's, there's no liquidity, so I can't, there's no approval there's no even like way to attempt the transaction to like get the fail message. But I can just multiply it out because of how many tokens I had yesterday. I think I did $5 worth. It's $3,600 worth right now. So do the math.
Hey, man.
So it's all bullshit.
Lunch is on you.
If they ever change those settings, dude, you're going to be crushing it.
Daniel, what do you think about proof of work, proof of stake?
I think proof of stake is a mistake, to be honest with you. And
Okay.
the crypto, the problem with proof of stake, I'll tell you right now, is that it incentivizes not first of all, it incentivizes that only rich people will do it because you have to have a bunch of money staked in order for it to function. But also because it uses so little energy, it incentivizes using the cloud, right? So pretty much on proof of stake, everything, yes, the entire network is separated by a bunch of investors that are staking into the thing, but it's all on AWS, it's all on Google Cloud, it's all on Microsoft. And if at any point Google's like, I don't want to do this anymore, the network's going to lose a lot of its security overnight. Because people don't want to just do that, not just that, but then because of proof of stake is so easy, Coinbase can just make a server farm with all the proof of stake, and now Coinbase is 50% owner of all Ethereum, right? So I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of proof of stake. Proof of work is better. Obviously, it creates a lot of energy usage, which is bad. It's only expensive because the miners price themselves at the price that it costs to make Bitcoin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like if they just didn't do that, if there was more competition in the ace whatever, like for the coins that you can only mine them with GPUs, it's cheaper to mine those. And it's not really cheaper. There's a moment like it gets harder as people mine, as you guys know. So like eventually, like too many people are mining it, and it's not expensive, or it's too expensive. Anyways, there's other ways. There's other proof-ofs that are better. Like there's hardware-based blockchains. That's probably the best one, but crypto people don't trust Intel to create the right processors.
Can I ask you, Daniel, what about the decentralized alternatives to AWS and Google and Microsoft for hosting these servers? If you're worried about the centralization of proof of stake, are there not several projects that aim or claim to be a crypto version of that?
Yeah, they are, and yeah, maybe one day they'll be good, but right now you'd be paying for a service that's more expensive and not as good. So people
which coin specifically? Because
I haven't looked into them, man. The deepest one that I looked into was crap. The only way I know it is because it's a decentralized Kubernetes network, but you don't know what that means. Shit.
Not a clue.
Joke's on you. I looked it up last night, dude.
Yeah, that's the only one I looked at, and it's actually pretty cool. But then you look into it, and it's not that cool.
What
like
terms are we
everything.
looking for when you're considering projects like this? Because the ones that I'm familiar with are like, Filecoin, Arweave.
Arweave is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I know it's more like on the GPU side, but Akash Network. What? Can you name some projects or some like buzzwords that we know is like, oh, okay, that's what spinning up a server in crypto is. That's the term for it.
Arweave can't do that. Arweave won't be able to do a miner or anything like that, and ICP won't be able to do it either.
So who would?
Akash might.
And why? Because it's called cloud infrastructure, and that's the keywords you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's different, right? It's a compute engine is just a computer.
Right.
Cloud
That's like
infrastructure.
processing.
Yeah, a compute engine is it's literally just a computer. Like you're writing software and deploying it on there. It's just a more powerful blockchain.
And for context, Daniel, your specialty as an engineer and a developer was cloud infrastructure, something adjacent to that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In case for some reason someone here doesn't know who Daniel is or what Daniel does, I always like to preface things when people might get the impression if they don't know who someone is, they're just pulling shit out of their ass.
I'm pretty sure they were all convinced when he said Kubernetes. So. That's all
Okay, I want to go back to the proof of stake thing because I don't disagree whatsoever. It is a huge problem that Web3 is hosted pretty much on Web2. And I wonder, okay, who then, what is the scope and the scale of if none of these companies are going to do it, if you're starting from scratch or you're starting with the monopoly pieces you already have on the board right now? I feel like people are focusing down the road. People are like, nah, Ethereum's sufficiently decentralized. So let's go ahead and build Eigenlayer so we can get a middleware that brings people to the EVM machine. But if you had to go back to the root, you had to get AWS out of there, what are the pieces you're moving into play? Or are you starting from scratch?
You're starting from scratch. Or no, I mean, you're incentivizing existing data centers to run your network, right? Like if you create, like I said, there's that one project that seemed like a good idea, but it's not a good idea, where you can run your own node of that network inside of your data center. Like you're incentivizing them to do it. But the problem then is that it sucks. It's never as good as how good Google does it because Google, Microsoft, and Amazon have created a lot of bespoke software for their data centers. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the difference between a mom and pop shop and McDonald's.
Sure.
Pop shop's never going to give you a sandwich in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks.
Okay. So incentivizing them to do it our way.
Yeah. I mean, you can do franchises like McDonald's.
I mean, so that if you zoom out a little bit just on that idea, because I'm inclined to agree, and I feel like in all areas of business across a whole myriad of different industries, you have that exact phenomenon, right? Where you have the large, gigantic, titanic player in the space, whatever the space that is, fast food or cloud storage. And then you have all of the little tiny stuff. You might, think it's worth it to pay the premium for, an arguably better service, whatever better means to you subjectively. But, if you think about it, unfortunately, any world that involves that little mom and pop version scaling to meet the demands of what the Titan supplies for, Google or McDonald's, they're going to have to make the same sacrifices in quality for scale potential that the Titan had to make to get to that point anyway. So, you kind of end up becoming what you fight against if you want to service everyone, or you have to be comfortable not being able to handle that kind of scale, which is sort of the conundrum of.
It's like the blockchain trilemma almost.
Yeah.
It's just capitalism, man. Eventually, one big corporation owns everything, and everything sucks because they need to make more profits every quarter, right?
Daniel, could the counter argument not be made that like if we get to a place where, because it seems almost theoretical, like proof of stake is not as good as proof of work because we're relying on centralized entities like Amazon, Google, etc. But could the argument not be made that like if Amazon or Google go down, there's no way the crypto market is even going to exist anyways, because that means that shit is hitting the fan so splendidly that nothing else has a chance anyways.
That argument is 100% true. I mean, if Google or Amazon go down, the entire internet is fucked, and this whole conversation is gone, right?
Rip.
So yes, yeah. I mean, if and then that's the way that the rest of the market looks at it. They're like, well, we're not going to fucking solve that issue, so we're ignoring it. We're just going to keep leveraging it. But then, yeah. So
what's interesting to me about you, Daniel, is that you're kind of a dichotomy of thought processes, because I feel like on one hand you're a purist and you're very much like upset at the current system that we're in, because you know that there's a better way and a lot of it is bullshit because you've worked in crypto and you're a developer. But on the other hand, you're very good at like understanding what the lay people will really like and
a little bit nihilistic.
Flock to, yeah. And
Gotta be a little bit.
You've done a good job at like picking out these coins that are just complete ass and then having a lot of them go on pretty stellar runs. So what is it like to be inside your mind?
It's mostly you know what I mean. The reason that I choose the coins that I choose is usually, first, the market has to be in a greedy state, right? Everybody has to. If you notice, if you pay attention to human condition in crypto, you'll notice that after it's been down for a while, people get itchy. Their hands get itchy, and they want to throw money at things, right? And right as the market starts to get greedy, they're waiting. They're just waiting to throw money at something. And right there, you have to find the coin that's currently hip. The coin, the narrative that you think people are gonna want to buy, and it's always different, and it's completely dependent on what people are talking about on social media. But it's about time. But that's the reason that unlike all the other crypto douchebags out there, I'm not constantly pumping coins, right? Like they're constantly saying, "Oh, I found another one," because if you're looking for one that will actually do money, then it's like 1 or 2 coins every 3-6 months.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell, I feel like anyone who knows who Daniel is can tell where I've learned a lot of my, I don't know, the basis for my opinions about crypto stuff by watching and listening to a lot of things that Daniel has said, because I always get, insert random crypto here. What do you think of this? And I'll always pretty much give the same 2 opinions. Like, yeah, sure, it could totally pump because of this, that, or this, but it's garbage. And they're like, well, what does that even mean? I'm like, the fact that it's a pile of shit does not prohibit it in any way, shape, or form from making a few people a shitload of money. Exactly. Like, I forget what the one we were talking about yesterday, Evan, was, or maybe the other, I don't know. We were talking about one of these trendy narratives. I think it was either RWA or AI, and we were like, there's literally no reason for this cryptocurrency to exist. It does absolutely nothing. The utility is a lie. None of that matters, but it's like really, really sexy on its homepage, and it fits the narrative perfectly, and it's being talked about all over the place. So it would be a pretty safe bet to say, like, at some point it's going to at least punch up into the stratosphere for a couple days, before all of those people take all their profits and the thing dies. Like, both things can be true at the same time.
That's an interesting point, and I think there's a good question in there too. So, Daniel, I'd be curious to know, like, when you're evaluating a coin, you sent all of us and talked about publicly coins, right? But anytime you go to one of these places, there's red flags, and I've talked to you about them in text messages. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? There's like,
yeah.
this looks like a steaming pile of shit.
And then it goes up 10x.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then it
yeah,
goes
yeah.
up 10x. Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, all right, well, I'll invest in this next one that you sent me, even though it's got red flags all over it, and then it goes down 10x. So I'm just like so bad at following your picks. Anyways, the question I want to ask is, what red flags do you not worry about? Like, because they all have red flags, right? So which are the ones that you are like, you know what, I'm not going to worry about that, and I'm just going to focus on this?
Or put it another way, which ones will allow you to look closer?
It's not about the red flags, man. The red flags are always there. In fact, red flags are kind of bullish to me these days because it stops people. It sort of gives me time to load up and like to tell people about it, you know, because the big money people, the big influencers won't get in until later.
Sure.
So I really don't mind the red flags. It's usually it's about getting that conversation in with the developers and seeing if they're for real building something or if it's an actual 100% a scam. Like when I talked about Soul Chat, it was like an 800K. I just went into the conversation with a developer and I was like, "Hey man, so what the hell are you building? How is this anything?" And then they started talking, and he was an actual developer, and that was enough for me. He was an actual developer, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's actually building something."
So you kind of use that inside, experience and knowledge to help you.
Yeah. It's.
But I don't feel like we couldn't do that. Like, obviously, Daniel, you could navigate a conversation about, like, is it bare metal or is it cloud? And what's the...
Yeah, what's the Kubernetes situation on this one?
Yeah, exactly. Can I touch your Kubernetes? Yeah. I feel like we could navigate that. Like, I know enough. And even the people, like, who are just joining the show will know enough to be able to go into a Telegram or whatever and have a conversation with somebody and find out, is this person... I mean, do you have green flags or red flags, or is it as simple as they're willing to talk to me and they seem to be building something legit?
Willing to talk to me, seem to be building something legit, and it's a specific time in the market where people are ready to drop money.
Yeah.
Those are the key three things. And as you can see, I don't talk about coins all the time, so it's very rare.
Would you,
Well, and I remember what
agree
you
with
said
what
to
Evan
us.
said, though?
What?
Would you agree with what Evan said, that a layperson or like us, who are kind of like mid-lay, would be able to understand? Alex just lost his shit.
No.
Would understand and speak the lingo?
No,
'Cause I have doubts.
I think you would get pulled for a ride by a business developer pretending to know things.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, business developers that kind of know keywords and like will tell you about things that are like common. They always say things that like are common knowledge but are fake. All those fake narratives that everyone buys into.
Yeah.
See, but I feel like that's really obvious. That's loud to me the way that, like, I don't know, that guy at the mall selling you fingernails who's got like Balenciaga on everything is obvious. I don't know, it stinks.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you can do it, you can do it. I'm not gonna. In my experience, everybody I know is disappointing. So maybe you won't disappoint me. I look forward to it, Evan. I hope.
Well, I appreciate your very detached vote of confidence. That's a very helpful way to handle it. Because either I will or I won't, and you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Very diplomatic answer. Yeah, Evan, I would invite you to DM Willem or Skull Elf and just start asking them about one of their projects and see how long you can hang, because I doubt that. I think that, like what Daniel said, they say some things and we would be like, oh yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know if we have enough know-how to really dig into the infrastructure and understand what they're doing, like with the Shoup guys.
No, I wouldn't. But what I mean to say is, I would know the difference, I think, between a Skull Elf and a Mack Lorden in conversation pretty immediately. I think.
But there's also the test of, like, even if they are a developer, how good are they, right?
Yeah, that's another.
That's a good point. I would not have the acumen to really assess that.
Because we've fucked that up quite a few times, haven't we?
Yeah,
Yes, multiple times.
Junior devs will tell you whatever you want to hear, and they'll say it in a way that makes sense. And
that's so true. Oh my
Daniel,
God.
aside from spending literally 30,000 hours developing my own skills, is there a course I can buy from someone? Is there an influencer who I can line their pockets in order to learn the 6 questions I need to ask?
You literally, in my experience, and Daniel, tell me if I'm wrong here, you either need to go learn all the skills yourself, or you need to somehow find the unicorn in that world that you can just trust implicitly. So like, you know, my sounding board for all of it is just send it to my dad.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't give a single shit about anyone's feelings when it comes to analyzing any of that. And he's very much like Daniel with, you know, that most of it is garbage, but like, you know, it's got a tool here that does this one thing really well. Like Daniel, I was telling Mack the other day, was kind of funny because we were talking about Polkadot, and then my dad, who is like definitely, I don't know what the best way to describe him without being insensitive is, with his attitude towards like which crypto is better for whatever reason. Like, you know, he couldn't give less of a shit. And it turns out for the one thing that he really needed a piece of Web3 tech to do for him at that moment, Polkadot was far and away the best option. And then he explained it to me and I was just like, okay, this is really funny timing because we were just talking about how Polkadot's got dinosaur syndrome. And, you know, that's going to be a massive hurdle to overcome. But I mean, I think that's it. You either have to go learn all the skills yourself, or you got to find someone who you can trust implicitly, which is just like really, really hard to do.
You don't want to learn these skills yourself. It's just going to take you a long time.
Yeah, that's why I go to the doctor.
Exactly. No, I'm always going to tell you that. I keep telling people that say they want to learn to code, like, you don't need to. You know, there's enough work around for a lot of other things. But I mean, I guess my if I wouldn't invest in shitcoins if I didn't have the skills that I had, right? Like I would just leverage on Bitcoin every time the market's down. And it's about the same amount of money. And it's actually what I'm doing right now because I don't have the time to dig into projects because I have my own stuff that I have to leave in like 5 minutes, by the way. I just do leverage and buy Bitcoin and make like 20% every time the market goes down.
But that's a valuable lesson in and of itself, which is something, Mack, I know you were just talking about, is like recognizing what your particular skill set is and then leaning into that strength. Like when me and Evan and Michael and Mihir were degenning to the max, I think Mack posted the meme of the gray grandfather standing at the window watching kids play in the front yard with his cup of coffee, just like he knows he would break his ankle if he went out there right now, you know, but he's got his own shit going on and he's just happy the kids are having fun.
Yeah, I was very proud of you guys. You guys were doing great. And, you know, I felt like such an inner peace because I was like, I had the confidence to know that if I stepped foot in those waters, I would drown immediately. So it's not my game. I'm just not a meme coin guy. It's just, you know, different.
You just believe too much, man. You believe too much. You have to go in knowing that it's all trash and it's all going to die.
That's what I think about that you said, Daniel, when we were talking about, you know, meme coins a couple weeks back. You said you're thinking about it too smart. You have to be aware of like what does the average consumer want right now? What are they paying attention to? Is, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and that is an issue with my.
We've had that issue a lot.
You guys are just so smart. You know, you're just so smart.
Well, I don't know about
smart
that.
enough to know the 100x's. You know what I mean?
We're smart enough to see what people who are not smart are doing and say we should avoid that. I don't know that we're smart, man. Maybe one day, if I'm lucky, someone will say Evan was really wise, and that will be good enough for me. You know.
I think I'm just smart enough to constantly get in my own way and trip myself.
Yeah. It's too much double thinking. Like.
Classically, the middle of the graph, you know.
The billionaires out there in crypto TikTok, they're idiots. They're like the dumbest people. They truly believed that Bitcoin was going to be, and it became that because, fuck, I don't know. But Bitcoin was a scam, man.
Yeah, you know what drives me crazy is you guys know Alex Becker, dude. Every time that guy tweets or any kind of business he's made, there are typos all over it. And anytime you watch Alex or me or Evan or any of our other team members like talk to each other, it's perfect English every single time. And I loved that about us. And I was like, you know, at one point in our business ventures, we thought about bringing on this fucking idiot. His name was DGen Derek as a consultant because he was so stupid. And we're like, listen, we need to understand what the people want. We need to bring on this moron and like ask him business decisions. Honestly, that was a legitimate conversation that we had.
We would have kept him in a room though, and like fed him enough to keep him alive, and then we would have had to let him out because to talk to him, we would have drawn straws. Like, who's going to talk to DJ there?
For context, Evan and I will do our best to dig up the Twitter recording of the time that Evan had a Twitter space with DJ Derek, in case you guys don't know who this person is.
It's a greatest hit.
And just
Simple Jack.
It was an incredible thing to behold, because anyone who has like more than 3 brain cells kicking around up there would listen to him speak, and you would just get lost immediately, because you're like, how is a human brain making the connections and leaps that this individual is making right now and verbalizing them out of the face hole? And it was incredible. I lost it immediately. Like, I couldn't keep up. I couldn't contend it. Evan somehow sat there with a smile on his face and talked to this absolute Neanderthal, which is a insult to Neanderthals everywhere, for hours. And on the recording will show you, I was screaming at him 5 minutes in, because I was just like, dude, you are criminally stupid. And it's amazing that you remember to breathe every morning when you wake up. And I just couldn't put to it. I could not figure it out. He's still an anomaly to me. I still can't figure that one out.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. It was a great conversation for sure. Daniel, since you got to go, do you want to give a final thought, a good joke, question, suggestion, word of wisdom?
Show us.
Yeah. Don't hodl anything unless it's in the top 10, or you're thinking that you want to gamble, because it is gambling, and it's always nice to guest star in the show. Right?
Do you plan on exiting the markets at a certain time? Do you think the bull run is going to end, at a certain market or anything, or a marker or anything like that?
Call the top.
I exited the market a while ago, and then I came back like 3 or 4 days ago.
Interesting. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
Well, Daniel, you're welcome on the show anytime. We love having you, man, and be
Always.
well until next time, okay?
All right, see you guys.
Thanks, brother.
You did.
What happened to William? So
sorry, I totally forgot to give everyone the update at the beginning. Will is
everyone
traveling
thinks he's
for
just
work.
in trouble, and then he pops into the chat, and we don't know if it's the real William or the fake William, so what's happening?
Well, I do get followed. We get at least 17 Calvin Hills in the chat every single morning. Oh yeah, dude. Just like I get followed by 5 or 6. I can always tell like the state of the market day, like green versus red, by how many Joshua Jakes follow me every day.
have you guys talked to Calvin? I've never talked to him.
Never spoken
Never
to
the
him
real
once.
one. Fake Calvin has talked once or twice.
How's he? Good.
Never spoken to him.
Fake Calvin, though. I mean, is he a good guy?
No.
Which one? It's like that year at the VMAs when Greg Brady did the Slim Shady song, and all the Greg Bradys please stand up, and they're just, the theater is full of them. That's like what it is like. It's like, will the real Calvin? I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah. Well, I think your impersonators say a lot about who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Like if your impersonators are all assholes, then maybe you're an asshole. But if you have a legion of nice guy impersonators, I hope if you're out there at Mack Lorden _324,
It's Mark Lurden.
Yeah. Merc
Mack Lorden, Geo Bowden.
I had Mack Lord. I hadn't been DM'd by a Mack Lorden in a while, and then one DM'd me the other day. It was Mack Lordine.
Oh hell yeah! That's nice. Dude, if I ever have to make an alternate account, I'm just gonna have to change my name. I'm just gonna have to change it to something totally new because all the fucking options are done.
I have this one who it's a friend of mine who's mostly active on Twitter. I've met her at conferences. Her name is Ashley Duncan, and she is not active on TikTok, but she has one scammer who is really active. And I have a message thread with them that I occasionally, it's like my drunk girlfriend message. They will talk to me, and it's like a "how is your trading going" kind of vibe. And I always would be like, "Oh my God, Ashley, I'm so glad to hear from you. And I started with like my trading's going great. I'd like to show you the new bot I have, like trying to scam the scammer. And then I was like, this is not that fun. I got bored. So I started going into, hey, do you remember that time we were in Florida when I was wearing that and you were wearing that and you said this and then we kissed and then you left and then I've been thinking about that ever. And this person would like play along with it.
Really?
Yeah, they'd be like, yes, I remember. What are you buying today? And then I'd be like, don't you care about how I feel?
That's funny.
You know? And they'd be like, of course I care. I want you to be well. You know, like this person was like emotionally investing in our fake relationship.
Do not redeem.
I love that.
I love the Kit Bogo videos. That guy is an absolute hero in my book. The guy who just wastes scammers' times and then makes them so angry. And also, I think it's worth mentioning again, in case anyone here hasn't heard this story, but that 17-year-old kid in the last bull run.
Oh, yeah.
What a legend. So
Legend.
I was getting a lot of scammers. And this 17-year-old kid ended up DMing me, and he's like, dude, I off the cuff was like, you know, we need to like send these scammers pictures of assholes or something like that. So this 17-year-old kid took it upon himself to literally come up with a program that did that. And so anytime he encountered a scammer in my comments or with him directly, he would get him to download this thing and it would just send him just thousands upon thousands of like zoomed in pictures of assholes. And I was like, man, this guy is the hero that we need. You know?
Yeah. Oh, he killed it.
Shout out to that kid. I hope you're out there doing God's work still.
Yeah, that was so great. I vividly remember that moment. That was a good one.
You know, I don't know if Machiste is still here, but we do have some folks. We had like a deep philosophical conversation. I know it was great, but people probably want to know, like, what are you buying? What are you picking? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
I guess we'll talk about crypto instead of
you know. I wanted to say, just because it's nice to look at a token you like. A lot of scams on Base. Have you guys seen Thank You Base God?
That's great.
No.
Oh, it gets better because I want you to see what the headline picture for it is. I gotta pull it up on Warpcast because the token is Base God, but its like full name is Thank You Base God, and see if you recognize the bald wonder that is. Oh, come on, Glare. It's Brian. Just being a base god. And it's all these great, I mean, the memes are on point. I don't know if it's too late from the chart because the chart has done like that classic kind of double shoulders meme chart where now it's like just trailing off. And who knows if it'll ever come back to life kind of thing, you know? But
what's the market
memes
cap?
are on point.
16
and they were
million.
just at FarCon where they were giving away t-shirts. They've got this whole one hair equals one sin. Seek forgiveness for your hairful form. Basegod.fun is the website. And they've just gone like full on into like how many stupid things can we make for the community? The bald list. You know? This is an example. Despite what the chart is, if your meme token is trying too hard, it's not going to make it.
Yeah.
But here's a meme token that inherently understands like the culture of Base. That is doing things totally independent of the price, just for the lulz, that probably because of the kind of community it is, because of how nascent it is, because of how many, God forbid, scams there are on Base right now, if I was like, going to gamble $5 on something, I would probably gamble $5 on this. Because it has the kind of, I don't know, it could go to zero tomorrow. But if you're looking for I don't know who holds meme tokens long terms, but this would be the kind of community I would join because it's pretty funny. You can publicly commit to a goal and shave your head once the goal is met, like raising money. Optional, you can shave your head like a friar cut. If you're already bald, you can still participate by shaving your eyebrows instead. And they have this whole chart of actual people. Jesse Pollock, the #1 employee at Base, is on it. And his goal is if there's $10 billion of total value locked on Base, it's to be decided. If you meet the goal, you become based or God-pilled. If you fail to meet the goal, you are labeled an adulterer. So, like, it's totally dumb. But
To
it's
your point
genius,
about-
and the people who are in it are Machiste. If you're still in here, I would say it's not too late. It's not too late at all.
To the point about tryhards in the meme world, there's always though like, and these are really hard. You don't usually realize that it's happened until it's like being hit by a bus and you realize that you missed it, because like the thing that comes to mind is during the NFT bull run, right? When Mack and I were, I don't know why we were talk all the time, but we were sitting there and all of a sudden realized that there was the kickoff Twitter space for Goblin Town was happening.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like I remember trying to analyze like what was going on. The space had thousands of people in it and they were all just grunting at each other. That was it. It was just growling and grunting. That was the whole space. There was no speaking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like this, right? Like, but then after that, Goblin Town gave birth to a bunch of tryhards that were trying to like one up it or be funny or whatever, but it all felt really forced and none of them went anywhere. There was dirt birds. There was a whole genre of like, dirt whatever that were done in that same derivative art style. And this is kind of the same thing, right? So like one of them may seem like it's tryharding, but really it's just trend setting. And then the tryhards come next when they do, whatever the derivative of base god is back in the days when base like first launched, before Coinbase even did the big liquidity injection, and there was like a few little things happening and it was kind of popping off. That's where I made my meme coin gambling bag, was on base Jesus. And it was just base Jesus showed up. That was the only research I did. It was like, that's funny, buy. And then it 20x, I sold all of it. And then that bag I am still sitting on, and that's what I use to throw $5 at something stupid every now and then.
Nice.
But that's all the research to the point, like no data, just vibes. You just read the room and was like,
that's
funny.
what you got to be good at. That's really what you got to be good at reading, I think. And that was kind of the stuff I was asking Daniel, is like,
yeah,
how do you know? Because there's thousands of meme coins created every day now. How do you know that this is going to be, because obviously there's red flags, but you want the project that the red flags are going to be fixed eventually, or at least that they aren't, perilous to the project itself. So I think if you're good at Twitter, if you're good at like understanding, what the vibe is and where it's headed, then meme coins could be good for you.
I just want to shout out Christina, who said to Alex, "And this is the man handling my money."
Yeah.
Don't worry, babe, we're fine. Everything's
That's
fine.
trust right there. That's like some marriage level trust. I'm impressed.
In a world where dog with hat is worth more than the entirety of Spirit Airlines, what can you hope for?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that is accurate. That is accurate.
Somebody asked us about Casper, not Casper.
Yeah.
Is it done? That's the one where we met the guy, Alex, right, who wanted to start the sweatshop. I think it was. He's not affiliated, except he claimed to be an advisor, and that left a bad taste in my mouth. I think they're probably a marketing team that lost their budget.
Remember
that? Huh?
That's what that was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, at the one at the conference who was trying to sell me on the telemarketing sweatshop, that was Casper?
Yes. Yeah, that's not what the project does. He was affiliated with the project Casper and was selling you a different idea, but representing himself, and because he introduced himself as being affiliated with Casper, I was like, well, that gives me less confidence in them.
Wait, their chart is abysmal. It's worse than ICP's.
Yeah, the comment was that it's the worst performer this year.
Oh, holy shit!
Maybe among layer ones.
Look at
it's a freaking meme.
For context.
Yeah, it's like an under the sea.
Let me
the
spotlight.
submersible's down there, imploded somewhere on that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's painful.
Juice.
It started at $1.30. It's now trading at 2 cents, where it's been for 2 years.
What
Yikes.
happened? I would say, did the marketing budget just run out? Because I always just felt like they were one of the layer ones trying to distinguish themselves, going to conferences, talking about their stuff. But
look at that cliff, dude. Like, what? Yeah. How mismanaged does your marketing budget have to be if you start? What date is this? This is like May of 2021, and then by July of 2021, it fell from $1.30 to 7 cents, and it's never recovered above 21 cents. And it's just it's dead.
I don't know about you guys, but I apply heavy discrimination against coins that have already been through a bull cycle.
Big time. Much more than one that hasn't.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be top of the mind if it's going to do well in this bull market if it's already been through one, because there's just so many people, ups and downs. Basically, if you look left on the chart and the price is higher than it used to be, then you have to consider that a lot of people bought at those prices and they are probably still holding and are anxious to get rid of it. So, people think that like Multiverse X is a perfect example, like those people are down bad because their leadership keeps saying new cool shit's going to happen and they keep switching narratives. I don't know if you guys heard, but now it's like they want to be like a layer 2 for Bitcoin. And I'm like, okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Wait.
Yeah, Benjamin is at it again. So to recap, if anyone is in on Elrond Network, now called Multiverse X, I refuse to say Multiverse X, by the way. I don't know if you guys...
God, I know. God.
There's no E in there, so fuck them.
Dude, it was such a cool idea in the beginning. It was so cool. They had everything they needed to be cool.
And they absolutely just punted on the goal line.
They punted towards the other end zone at
the wrong one, yeah.
They were on the 1 yard away, and then they just went to the other end zone and took a knee.
But
basically,
what's the lesson that we can take from that is that because by all accounts, like how many things were going for it, and then by all accounts there were like, I don't want to say no red flags because nothing is completely flagless, but like you could look at that and you were just like, holy shit, the passion is insane. There's so many people. Yeah. Stuff is flocking to it. They went from 20 projects when we launched to 20,000 in that first year.
Who did?
Multiverse X, just like as a...
NFT project?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that was the first thing that fucked up is the NFT like marketplace that they hyped up, because in the beginning it was Mihir, and Mihir was dope. That was like, holy shit, this is an app.
Mihir was the best wallet for a minute.
Yeah,
Mihir was awesome.
Sense, like the common man. That's why I was so bullish on them. I read their economic paper, not the white paper, but the one that was like geared towards what we believe in the whole theory with like the e-gold, and it was brilliant. And then they had this Mihir app coming out, and it was dope. And then I think 2022 was when it really all started kind of going downhill. Oh, they had the Mihir coin, or the MEX coin.
Yeah, the DEX.
Do a bunch of e-gold stuff to get airdrop that. So that eventually tapered off. Then they did this like NFT marketplace, which was a complete flop. They only marketed their international event like a month before, so only people in Paris or Romania could show up. And then they switched to like being a multiverse kind of like metaverse play. And then several months later, they switched to AI focused. And then they did memes, which was like 4 months ago, right? Or 3 months ago. No, not even. Maybe like 2 months ago. It was like several months after the meme craze had already taken off. So Benjamin and other key members of the team changed their profile picture to a meme coin, which is playing favorites and quite dumb because there's so much involved with that. It's like, okay, you're now publicly endorsing another project, are you in on that? It was like what they did with Cantina Royale, basically, And then when they changed their profile picture back to themselves, that's also kind of bearish too. So it's like you really can't do that. It was a stupid leadership move. And then just recently, the latest craze was, or not the craze, but Benjamin tweeted that MVX could basically become a layer 2 for Bitcoin. So
this is now
cars like 3 months too late, and it just keeps fucking up. And they have no shtick. I keep saying this over and over again. They have no thing that they're known for.
That's the problem, because like they could have been pick one of the things, and if they put in the effort, it could have been awesome. Like we picked it for NFTs for multiple reasons, and I stand by all of them. Like it still to this day does NFTs really, really well. You can do so much cool shit with NFTs over there, but there is no support for it, and they keep turning off dev tools, and it's really hard to run anything over there. It's just like, if Bitcoin layer 2 is now the thing because the halving just happened and they're like, hey, we can do that too. it's like you're just repeatedly trying desperately to stay relevant without ever doing anything full tilt. They are like, yeah, it's the aggressive constant pivoting for no reason. Like, as Alex Hormozy would say, they are living in the valley of despair, and instead of trying to push through the valley of despair and get to the promised land, they just keep starting over and starting over and starting over, but they're starting over with everyone else's money, and it's really frustrating.
On the uninformed optimism loop. Yeah, I love that. That was a really, really cool thing that he talked about.
It's so chef's kiss.
Digital Hangover is asking, is that a lack of conviction with their original mission or underestimating of complexity? I think it's a lack of a clear goal in sight, because they are a layer one. So technically they should be able to do it all. You know, you should be able to do NFTs on there. You can make your own coins. You can do DeFi. You can do all this type of stuff. But because there are so many layer ones out there, and because they completely went through the last bull run without even trying to market towards America, which I said was so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
People over there were like, no, it's all part of a strategy. You build up a stronger base in Europe first. I got news for you guys. If a coin is like advocating that it's European based, that's a big red flag. No one gives a fuck about Europe unless you're going there to experience the beautiful countries, because Europe is awesome. But in terms of crypto, Asia, first of all, it's America. That's why when the Fed comes out with a decision, the whole market tanks. It's because it's based on America. That's why when the stock market is doing bad, the crypto markets follow. It's all American. We don't want it to be that way, and I wish it weren't. I wish it were more global, but let's call a spade a fucking spade. One. Two, Asia is of secondary importance. Asia's got a lot of people, Japan, Korea, all throughout the Southeast, smaller Asian countries like Vietnam and Thailand. Those are big too, but third place by a landslide is Europe. So people always ask me in my lives too, like, what do you think about LCX, or like, I can't remember, but there's this other like German one, but these
LCX is a popular one though.
Yeah. And it drives me crazy. I'm like, not only is this the least inspired thing I've ever seen, like this is completely antithetical to the ethos of crypto. It's like, oh, we're a regulated exchange in Europe. Cool, dude. Like, if that gets you hot and bothered, you know what I mean? Like, you just need to, you need to go on a retreat and I don't know, do something different. But those kind of like European based, and that's their shtick, is I'm very bearish on. So, anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Let me bring it back because I can somewhere Benjamin's ears are burning, and he is once again ignoring the wisdom that might be received.
He's just going to block. He is a prolific blocker. Anytime he was the impetus, and the Multiverse X community was the impetus for the last thing that I said about FUD. Like, we use the word FUD all the time, but 99.9% of the time it's being used to describe someone who's like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. Like, FUD, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, their heads are just so buried in the sand.
Others' wieners' mouths.
Yeah. They would have. I think they didn't underestimate the complexity. They built a great blockchain. They clearly can architect infrastructure, but they were not responsive to good feedback and made poor judgment calls on, like, from that place where to go next. Exactly. If that was my chess game to play, I'd like to think we could have played it better. You know what I mean?
I totally agree, dude. It drives me crazy because, like, and I've met members of their team, right? And we met the one guy that they hired, the one American guy. I don't know if you guys ever met him, but he was
we talked. We had a call, all of us, I think.
I can't remember what his name is. He was a nice guy. He had a Romanian name, but I met him in person in France, and shortly after that he got fired. And so I was like, dude, what happened? He's like, man, they had a real leadership problem because everything that happened had to go through the CEO, Benjamin. And that is just not a way to lead a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. You have to hire people who are completely, in charge and take ownership of their whole thing. So it's really a case study in leadership and management. And the other thing too is, like, I don't know why these companies don't just take some of their millions that they got invested, take like 200K of that and find somebody who's good at marketing. Why is that so hard for people? Because they still don't have a marketing director, or CMO.
fucking hire somebody. Go on Indeed and find any Joe Blow. You know, the market is
Well,
or pull a page out of Coinbase's book. If you want to be a Bitcoin layer 2, you want to be like crypto OG, whatever, go find somebody from Silicon Valley. Go find somebody who is doing product at an L2 company or a Web 2 company, doing marketing there, knows how to use Hootsuite or whatever.
Yeah.
And if Benny wants to be a visionary leader, let him go do that. Let the devs dev. Let this marketing person do their thing and wear your leather jacket and go make speeches. But let's make a plan.
Yeah, find somebody on social media who has 150,000 followers. They know about marketing. You know what I mean? Not that I'm going to work for MVX, but I'm just saying.
Congratulations, Mack, and here's your little jacket.
They
don't even have to take it.
A lot of money.
You'd have to shave your facial hair, do that the kind of lamb choppy swoop that's popular over there,
and get a leather jacket, of course.
Obviously, they weren't even in the position where they would have had to go out and do the digging. Like we came to them and offered them for free to help.
Yeah. And
we were told, quote, to mind our own business. So that was the day that it kind of died for me. Cause I was like,
we're salty.
What an unbelievably stupid response to someone who is actively working on your network, offering free assistance. If you say no to that, you have zero business acumen, and I'm terrified for you running a company. Yeah. And then the second death blow to it, and I'll be delicate because it's not his. I don't want to out anyone specific, and he would be pissed if we were talking about him this way. But we have a friend who is the ultimate guru on cybersecurity. I would trust him over anyone else on earth that I have ever met to give me guidance in the world of cybersecurity. He's a brilliant individual, and he's horrifying. He's the scariest person I know. He discovered throughout the course of more than a year millions of dollars worth of vulnerabilities in this ecosystem. And he constantly pointed it out. He wrote them a free bug report every single time, and he worked with them in private because they refused to give him any public credit because they didn't want to be seen doing business with him to fix all their stuff.
No, they didn't want to be public that their code was that vulnerable.
It was the story they gave him was that they didn't want to put that all out there, and they didn't want to be seen doing business with a hacker. Is how they constantly described him. But they tried to get him to sign a multi-year contract to work for them privately under NDA and only agree to be paid month to month. They wanted him to sign up for years, and they didn't want to commit to paying him anything, even though he personally saved them, that I'm aware of, $50 million. Wow. They launched some huge thing in the height of the their hype, whatever, to get the word out there. Was some hackathon type thing, and the prize pool was pretty significant. And within 30 minutes, he figured out how to fake the voting so that he could give himself all of the winnings. And he could have just done that and walked away with all of it, but he wrote them the whole thing, and they were like, "Cool, great, not your." Anyway, the day that they finally excommunicated him and refused to work with him any further, I was like, you guys are throwing away an asset that has provably saved your entire company more than once. If any of these things were made public, and you just piss that away for what? Because you're concerned about your public image. Have you seen your public image lately? It's not good.
The underlying message here, folks, is don't marry your bags. A lot can happen in a short amount of time in crypto. So just because a company was awesome last month doesn't mean that is necessarily going to continue. There are projects that the CTO and the dev team, they move on and they find new ones. I've seen it happen a few times now, and it's I wonder if the original bag holders of the original project even know that their CEO is in this new project. I've seen that happen at least twice now.
Yeah.
So,
and that applies to everything. Someone in the comments just came through with ICP. When's it going to pump? Is it going to pump, or should I just sell it? If you're asking yourself, should I just sell it? When's it going to pump again? Will it pump again? If you've been asking yourself that for a while, that's an indicator to you that
that's
it's okay to move on.
Yeah.
Losses are all right come tax time, and next time don't be so tied to it. There's so much movement happening all over the place.
And ICP is a perfect example of that concept of baggage I was talking about. All you need to do is look at that chart and look at how much of the chart is above its current price.
Yeah.
A lot. That means a lot
Meaning
of
people are waiting, like you, for that price to come back,
Yeah.
and nobody knew it was going to come in until the chart does something different. ICP it was cursed from the onset in terms of speculation. They had that big old spike, and then
why does everybody talk about it? Why does everybody want to invest in it? It's $6 billion, guys. How much are you hoping to get out of this? You know what I mean? If you want a 5X, go for something lower with a lot more momentum. It's harder to put $6 billion into a coin, you know, from a market perspective than it is, you know, 100 million or 500 million.
Okay, so we got a couple of questions about a couple of tokens, and some of them are smaller, and I want to hear rapid fire thoughts. But the very first thing I want to ask, by way of segue, is someone in our comments, AC, hey AC, is talking about Bitcoin, trying to wrap their heads around it. Mack had a really great resource that I would definitely recommend. I'm going to put it in the newsletter. It's LOP, LOPP.net. Jameson Lopp is a Bitcoin OG, very clearly and cogently explains how you might start to think of Bitcoin, because the way you think about Bitcoin, I would say, guys, back me up, is different than dollars and cents. I'm not holding on to Bitcoin so that one day I can go to the store and buy my milk with Bitcoin. I'm holding Bitcoin because the way it's designed is to decrease the availability of it over time, to make it more scarce and to attract more people to it. I describe it like a faucet. Eventually the water in the tank's going to run out, and by the time it does, so many people are going to want to drink that it's not about going to the grocery store to spend it. It's about accumulating wealth by holding it. I think the simplest, you know, if you're interested in cryptocurrency you could spend, the simplest thing would be to go find a stable coin, a coin meant to be like the dollar, so that you can share it that way.
To that point, USDC as a stable coin created by Circle, a company closely affiliated and tied to the whole Coinbase ecosystem. The second biggest stablecoin on the planet behind Tether.
Yeah, Tether is losing some market share, but still number one.
So USDC, that stablecoin, has agreements through a whole bunch of different card carriers using both Visa and MasterCard to kind of have this sort of like middleman-y version of spending crypto at the grocery store, where you can technically like load a card with your USDC and spend it somewhere. Anywhere that accepts Visa or MasterCard, which is pretty cool. On the back end, it's not quite optimal, because what happens is basically just like the company that's running that service for you is just like buying and selling a shitload of USDC for US dollars on the backside, and just sort of like letting you live in a little world where it looks like you're spending USDC, which is a good like baby step to get there. But I think that this is probably too big to like rapid fire any kind of conversation on, but we could do like a whole day on the show where we just talk about this as a concept. There's a big misconception in crypto that I see constantly that I think leads a lot of people to make poor decisions, which is that all of them are supposed to be a US dollar replacement, that like every cryptocurrency at some point is going to, if it succeeds truly, going to be the thing that we are all taking to the grocery store and buying our gas with. And that's just simply not the case for the vast, overwhelming majority of these things, including Bitcoin. Bitcoin was never meant to do that. You got Lightning, and you know there's ways to like make it go faster and whatever, but you know we call it the gold, the digital gold. You know, most people don't take a satchel of gold ingots to Walmart and use that to buy stuff. You know, they would get a faster, easier, cheaper thing to use with their gold, but gold would be the reason that that thing has value. Hence, you know, the once gold standard of the US dollar. So that's kind of more the idea, I guess. So try not to limit yourself by thinking like, oh, just because I can't take this to the grocery store, it has no purpose, because most of them are not even trying to do that.
And most crypto is going to be beyond currency. Like mostly you will use encrypted pieces of information to do more freer stuff with your medical records, with your driver's license, with your, the infrastructure around this stuff. Don't get me wrong, the money part is going to be huge and the speculation part is going to be huge, but in 50 years, money is going to it's probably going to be like the smallest part of this, or it will be other parts that it's going to be like language. It's going to be like the printing press in terms of how tokens on a blockchain as a medium enhance our ability as humans to make meaning about stuff that's important. It's going to be like that. I don't know. Mac, if you have additional thoughts, let me know. If you don't, we had a question a while back from Angel, who, God bless her, is so sweet and patient, about ELA, Elastos, which I know absolutely nothing about.
I feel like I've heard of that one, but not enough.
I just looked at the chart and it looks like it's, had a rough month. Angel, can you tell us what it is that you like about it, why it's interesting to you? It's had some other activity at the end of the year. It went up, looked like there was some sort of big event, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, while we're waiting on her to comment on that too, are you guys? I'm curious to hear what you plan on doing in this, at the end of this bull run or throughout the bull run and on into the next bear market. Do you believe that there will be a bear market again, similar to the last one, and will you be selling everything or most everything or half, a little bit? What's your plans?
I don't know. I would not be so sad if we had what I would call a bear market. I don't tend to think in terms of bull or bear unless it's sustained for, remember what we called the last bull market when it started?
Rip.
It was like a sustained period of kind of like simmering growth before explosive action. And then we had some, I would say, fairly sustained explosive action before it went down. And I just feel like we haven't had the simmer. I mean, I see the Bitcoin stats, but I feel like it was kind of a quick bubbling up. And I'm kind of expecting that there will be, depending on what happens in the macro cycle, the elections, some of these lawsuits we've got coming up. I'm expecting it could go either way, meaning we'll crab or we'll have a little bump. And I'm prepared for all those things. My number one investment in terms of like what I'm doing with my time, attention, and money is obviously like social stuff. I'm working here to build social capital, building relationships with people, playing crypto the game. I'm on Warpcast, I'm on Dracula. And all those things, my biggest play is social in terms of my investments that are not like Bitcoin, Ethereum. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. I dollar cost average into Bitcoin all the time. Really? And then I have some altcoins I invest in that I'll take profits on and move out of. But I'm mostly investing in social protocols, all the Farcaster tokens, Warpcast, creating content on Dracula, building relationships with people so that I can be closer to the people who are going to launch the tokens or give the airdrops or whatever.
Yeah, Evan's Bitcoin strategy is, I think right now, Evan, correct me if I'm wrong, but instead of buying cigarettes, he's buying Bitcoin with the cigarette money.
Hell yeah, dude. Good. Yeah.
Anything I can do. I'm buying that's what I figured, would help me. And honestly, it's working better than you might think.
I imagine you probably have a big old bag because shits are expensive.
My bag has grown more since I've started doing that. And it's just, another good way to do it.
Okay, Alex, what about you? You selling everything? You selling a little bit? What's the deal?
So we've kind of been talking about this a bit. My portfolio right now is what most would call probably super boring.
Yeah.
So I don't really have like a tremendous amount that I'm worried about what I'm going to do with. Yeah. Like there's the Bitcoin, which, thankfully I'm now at a point where I don't have to get rid of it. I don't have a ton of it, but would like more of it. I have no plans of selling it deliberately or, whatever. Yeah. The biggest like bag that I'm up even now, like pretty significantly on, that is the one I would be looking at, would be like Solana, just because it's so aggressive and its ups and downs. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it went from $8 to $208 this bull run so far. So I would, and then back to, what is it at now? 130 something probably. I have no idea. So that one probably, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have enough to where I'm like worried or looking to sell a huge bag at some point, because I have been so aggressively taking profits every time there's green. I just sell stuff and wait for it to be red, and then I buy more stuff. So I'm just siphoning money out constantly, which I've never done before. So
yeah, I'm doing that too, Alex, and I'm moving it into Bitcoin. Or if I need like money for groceries, honestly, I'm I'm doing super short term like flip investments. The market is such right now that I feel like you can go find $100 if you need it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's not like a sustainable strategy forever, but that's part of my strategy right now, that I would move out of the market in a less active time.
So that's the biggest difference. When I said like lessons that I learned last bull run that I carried over into this one into like, actionable moves that I can measure. Last time on paper on green days, I had a ton of gains, and I would, if I was smart enough to take some profit, I would take like a few % off. Now on paper, my gains are not that big because my cost basis analysis for Solana, for example, on the big run up was like, $60 or something. Now it's more, like 135 or whatever. So like the percentage of gain on paper is smaller because I'm constantly like rotating in and out of the positions to like, just take all of it, because it's always going to crash at least at some point. So
that's why I'm saying I'm just going to sell it all, I think.
Yeah, and what are you looking for? What are some indicators you're watching? I feel like, Mac, you're in more. I feel like you developed higher conviction around some of your alt picks that you've been talking about a long time ago. Like, you were really productive in the bear market, I feel like, and picked some tokens. And you mostly, it seems like, have made your profits already, and now are looking for that kind of like last bit before an exit. Am I right or wrong? You're staking some stuff.
I'm well positioned in a good amount of altcoins, but a lot of the coins that I really like are late stage runners. Like like Solana is an early stage runner because it went from $8 to now whatever 140 or whatever it's at, right? So that is a big market cap. That's an easy play. Unfortunately, I didn't have any money at the time, when it was $8, $9. So I mean, I still had some from the last bull run, but I didn't, add a bunch of money in there. But where I really specialize is the coins that are kind of newer launches that can just have that irrational kind of craziness towards the tail end of the bull market. So I have not taken much profits at all really yet. Because it just seems silly to like invest in a coin that's like a sub $50 million market cap, because it's almost like saying that that's the highest you think it can go if you sell. You know what I mean? And if it's a project that you really believe in, then you obviously believe it's going to be worth multiples of that. So yes. I do plan on selling. I sold a little bit of Bitcoin actually for the first time in forever, just to help buy the Tesla, and it felt good about it. I felt good about it. Yeah, like Bitcoin. There's a lot of FOMO around it because it's like such a historic thing. But at the end of the day, like if I'm not using that Bitcoin to buy a house or improve my life anywhere, then what is it other than just a cash balance, So I probably will sell all of my Bitcoin this time and then wait for the bear market and then start dollar cost averaging and do it again, because that's the easiest investment to make in the bear market, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I think that when the ETFs, the ETFs will keep coming and they can keep buying it and buoying the price. But I also know that ETFs can sell. And I think it's foolish to think that we are not facing economic headwinds. So, there's a time to be risk on and a time to be risk off. I'm very risk on right now. And then, when that changes, I'll let everyone know. But yeah, there definitely is going to be a time where I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm traveling for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do too, by the way. Maybe not straight, but yeah, we want to take little G and go to.
I was gonna say, I know G is about to be a jet setter traveling the world, but like that's a commitment, man.
Yeah, she's got her little chubby legs. She's starting to stand up, so she'll be walking here soon. And then we just got her passport, so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of traveling in this next year, probably starting Christmas time this year.
I definitely like. I don't know. I hear people say, just about like traveling with small children. This has nothing to do with crypto, but quick aside, just that it's like, it's pointless and don't waste your time. But like, as a very well-traveled baby myself, even the stuff that I don't remember, I know that it happened.
Yeah.
And that is impactful throughout the rest of my life, that I still have that. I know that the first time I went to see my grandparents in Switzerland was at the ripe age of 6 or 7 months or whatever I was, something insane. Why my parents did that to themselves, good on you, but thanks. And I don't know, I'm probably just making that up. I don't know if it was 6 months, but it was early.
Yeah.
And then, from that, I do remember, starting to pick little things up, and I'm like 1, 2, 3, because, we go every so often. That was like what you did, go see family or whatever. And just like those experiences, there is no substitute for that later. So like, yeah. I mean, Mack, not that you're looking for my endorsement, but I fully endorse this.
Yeah, no, I mean, traveling is great. I always think of the Mark Twain quote: "The traveling is fatal to bigotry, prejudice, and anything else." I can't remember. I got to memorize that one. But yeah, I'm just super excited, and there's a lot of places that we wanted to be. And what better time than a bear market? I'd like to be stress free and just be like, you know what? I'm fucking done. So it's going to be really hard to time it up. I don't know when exactly it's going to happen. I think that it's highly likely that I start taking significant profits by the end of this year. And then, the big question is what next year is going to look like. I think a lot of that depends on the election and how the world economy and the state of geopolitical affairs looks like. There's a lot of unknowns, and it could very well be a very bloody year. I meant markets wise, but also, literally too. Next year. So yeah, I just got to be vigilant. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's unlikely that the bull market continues into 2026.
Oh, my sights are set on 2025 in terms of if there's going to be a thing, once people are less afraid after the election, once some of these lawsuits are resolved, as people become more familiar ever onward with like crypto because of what Coinbase is about to launch a smart wallet, dude, that people will not even know is a wallet. The stuff that's happening right now, like the products that are coming to life, I think are in the next year or so gonna get tested and get touched. But who knows about 2026? I think a lot of crypto people will be taking profits, and most of the money here now is crypto people or institutions that are buying that will want to take the profits,
Yeah, that's it. Because somebody else in the comments was saying like this is going to be an extended cycle, or it's it's going to be a long time. And even people are like, "What's your 5-year plan?" It's like, dude, that's like 4 decades in crypto time. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's insane to think that far ahead in terms of crypto.
So, last travel question, Matt. Christine asked where you guys are going first. Obviously, it's Savannah, but where are you going after Savannah?
Savannah, yeah, we have two tranches that we want to hit. So we want to do the Christmas markets in Europe, which we're really excited about. So like Germany, Switzerland, Austria, those kind of vibes, maybe Prague. And then in Asia, we want to do Asia. And Japan is top of our list. Korea would be great. And then the tropical spots like Thailand and Bali.
Jessica was saying in the comments that she loves Elephant Hill in Thailand. And I know you've been talking about Thailand, Bali before. I would love to go to Bali. It's on my list for sure.
Yeah. Lewis is there right now, and he is singing its high praises. He said that it is just incredible. And I've heard that, these places are becoming crypto hotspots too. Thailand made crypto capital gains tax go away. So that's a pretty strong incentive for people to go there and build. Singapore is a big crypto spot, but that's a little bit, a little bit pricier. Bali seems dope. Yeah, I mean, they're all great spots.
Okay, then let's do this. I am almost approaching the point I need to be well met and use the bathroom and walk the dog. Alex and I have a meeting coming up later. Can I rapid fire just a couple of questions, make a news pitch, and then we take our ponies on the road?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Matt, can I ask you to reiterate what you said? Someone in here asked about the Fetch AI Ocean Singularity merger. It has been voted on by all the communities. It's going to happen. And you said, I thought, the best thing about what's the real challenge facing 3 companies coming together in any merger? Do you remember what you said?
The culture.
The culture.
Yeah, as with anything. I not to say that the coin won't pump. I'm sure it will. But if you're combining 3 pretty high market caps already, how much opportunity are you looking to really get? Like it seems awesome on paper. It might be a sell the news kind of event, like pump your individual coins, Fetch and Ocean, before the merger happens. And then once it becomes this, Power Rangers, 5 people merge into the mega robot guy, then it might be like, all right, cool. Well, now it's, worth $12 billion and there isn't that much upside. So always think about your upside rather than the hype of the project. A. B, if there are 3 different communities and ideologies and business models coming together, 3 is tough. 2 is tough, but 3 coming together, there will be challenges there. So I think that there's going to be much better options in the AI and data space for individual projects of a much lower market cap. And take that for what you will, but that's kind of the way I'm playing it. So.
Good answer. Okay. Next question is another Bitcoin question. And I missed the question. I'm sorry, AC. I know I responded to you, but it was something like this question about like when would you sell your Bitcoin and when would you know to buy back in? And someone else asked, what can I do with my Bitcoin in the meantime while I'm holding it? Like, is there a way to use it to buy other stuff? Is there a way to stake it? That kind of thing. What would you guys say to that? The buy sell question and the what do I do with it while I'm holding it?
So I can do a quick one, but unfortunately, there's not really any Celsius type programs anymore. You used to be able to earn interest on it. I think you can actually earn interest on it with Core.
And Aave. You can wrap it and earn interest.
Yeah. So there's ways to earn interest. You can kind of stake it, or you can use it to take out loans. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that, to be honest. I think that's a risky game. If your collateral gets fucked or if there's a flash dip, you can get liquidated and there goes all your money. So I wouldn't mess with it. Bitcoin is just kind of the old slow-moving turtle. I would just hold on to it and then just, be ready to sell and make sure you have your private keys ready in case you need them and all that kind of stuff. And then when do you sell it? Shit, I don't know. I would probably start taking profits once it hits 6 figures.
Well, the answer is it depends on where you bought it. Big time. Like if you've been dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, then it might make sense for you to sell a little bit that you might have bought at $7 when it hits $70 kind of thing. And then as it goes down, that's a good time to be buying if you believe it's going to go back up. As it goes back up, you can sell in small increments. Every time it goes up 10%, that Bitcoin you bought back here is going to be worth more and more and more. And you're doing the Alex Popovich, now I'm taking profit strategy.
And AC asked, when's a good time to buy Bitcoin? And that kind of ties into your answer too, Evan.
I think dollar cost averaging is the best. Or at a big crash, I think a good crypto strategy for anybody that's like going to level 2 from level 1 is hold some stable coins in reserve for when tokens you have conviction on are on sale. There's this great meme, you guys have seen it a bunch, where it's like 2 kiosks selling stuff and there's a line of people at this one and it's like Bitcoin when the price is up, and then there's nobody at this one and it says Bitcoin when the price is down, but you want to be buying it right here. When it crashes,
the only thing I would say as a caveat to that, because that's totally true, is think about how much you're trying to get out of Bitcoin. If you're trying to like triple your money, don't be buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I would hope for a maximum of 2x. So if you put in $100 today, I would hope that you're going to get $200 out when it doubles in price. But
I see that's the only crypto I feel confident at looking at on like a 5-year horizon. And I tend to be in the Cathie Wood camp. I think its most likely outcome is somewhere, in the near medium term, 5 years, 10 years, is $1 million.
That's fair. If you're playing the long game, if you want to take profits sooner and have some of that money as cash earlier, then I would just consider what you could sell and how much your money will multiply in a year's time from now.
Alex, you got anything to add, brother?
Yeah. I mean, not like in super different. I was talking back and forth with a couple other comments in the chat. So Hublai was just saying just about like, the use of Bitcoin as a store of value and stuff. And I always, so first of all, Hublai Khan watches all the time, consistently, like, I think a very specific perspective, but it's always like really good shit. So no shade at all. I disagree wholeheartedly when someone tries to tell me that like Bitcoin doesn't have a use case because it's if the digital equivalent of gold, I understand that gold can be used like physically to make things out of, and that is a difference. But like, but in the grand scheme of things, if we talk about like what true intrinsic value is, always like strip it back to the bare necessities and then go from there. So like, food, water, shelter. And if you have a thing that can consistently deliver to you the necessities for survival, I think that is the definition of intrinsic value. So, I would wholeheartedly disagree that, any altcoin that has a theoretical utility to do something very specific has any different or any more intrinsic value than Bitcoin, whose intrinsic purpose is to be a new money system. And you have always been able to, since its inception, easily convert that into, exclusively getting easier as time goes on, convert that into the things you can materialize into what will literally keep you and your family alive. Sounds dramatic, but like, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
There just hasn't been a reason to think otherwise. It's exclusively gone up. And I vividly remember when, Bitcoin was like, I was aware of it and did nothing about it when it was like Silk Road is like, that's the only reason anyone has this thing is to buy people on the internet and sell drugs and weapons. And it's just like, we've only gone up from there. So that's just how I would like look at it.
Well, and I want to clarify, because when we say it like that, AC mentioned in the comments, so it's like Jesus, like the reason we're talking about it, there are lots of things that only go up that might come down that are also just 12 years old. But the difference here is it's not like a trust me, bro. I highly recommend you read the white paper, or I have a video like 6 back where I talk about like the mechanics of Bitcoin, how it is programmed, and how that program, unlike, the Facebook terms of condition, it's not going to be changed. It can't be co-opted. It's open, it's verifiable, but it's immutable. It's there, it's going. And one day, the commitments that the protocol makes are such that all the Bitcoin in the world will be released into distribution. And the network, which continues to grow, will be so big that the demand for that limited resource, it's just mathematically programmed in such a way as to become more scarce and more in demand over time. It's not like a, say the right prayer, do the right thing, and you will go to heaven one day. It's like 2 + 2 = 4. 4 + 4 = 8 kind of thing. But it can be difficult to wrap your head around in just a very short conversation like that. So it is absolutely based on people believing in it. But the reason people believe in it is because, think about gold. What a great store of value, but gee, it's really hard to carry it around if you want to move, or if you need to prove that it's real and not fake. Bitcoin is digital, so it's instant. You can send it to person. You don't have to carry it with you. It doesn't require a bank vault. It doesn't require security. It's monitored by a smart contract, and every person who uses it is like another bank vault that got created. All of them can talk to each other, and they make the network more secure. And over time, the incentive to join the network and use the network and make it more secure versus a system like gold or money also increases. So could people stop believing in it, and could it all go to zero? Absolutely. Is it likely? It's more likely that people would stop believing in the dollar. It's more likely that people would stop believing in gold, just mathematically.
That goes to Mack's baggage comment. The US dollar has way more baggage.
Big time baggage.
Than Bitcoin does. You talk about like something with bad tokenomics, as people like to point out, or, this, that, and the other thing, whatever. Like, I would completely concede instantly that, yes, it's based on belief in something, but honestly, one of the best like visual representations of the idea of what belief props up, which, spoiler alert, is quite literally everything that's not food, water, shelter, is the South Park episode where the economy is like this deity that everyone needs to appease and live in service of, and Kenny sacrifices himself by taking on everyone in South Park's debt on his own credit card, and then he dies.
How have I never seen that? That's magnificent.
No, dude, it is one of the best episodes they ever did. Just because it. What's up?
Go ahead.
So, like, yes, Bitcoin only has value because people believe in it, but so does literally everything that is perceived as valuable. Yes. Like, I could take the magic cards on that. Well, there's a Monstera in the way, but on that table, and I could go down to the comic book store and sell pretty much all of them right now for at least something. but there's no reason. Those don't have any intrinsic value other than they bring me joy and they make me happy, and millions of people agree with me. But like,
have you guys read *Sapiens: A Brief
Yeah.
History of Humankind*?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, great. That book completely changed my perspective on everything you guys are talking about, because we all have to believe that the dollar is worth something and that capitalism is worth something and that credit is even a thing. It's all a belief system. You know what I mean? It's just, somebody even said it in the comments here. It's like capitalism is a religion. Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, like, we all have to agree that this is worth something. Yeah, and it's just like, whether it's a religion or you can honestly make the comparison that, like, capitalism is to Christianity or Islam or Judaism as like a shitcoin is to a cult. There's just less people believing in it. You know what I mean? Like, Catholicism is still a cult. There's just 2 billion people who believe in it.
Yeah,
right?
that's the defining characteristic of a cult. When does a cult become more than a cult? When enough people believe in it.
Exactly. Yeah. So they all start out as cults. You know,
They
it's
all
not
do.
like Christianity started with 2 billion people. It started with just a few guys, 12 of them. And
Jesus was crucified because he was a weird, cringy cult leader that the reigning majority.
I've never heard anyone call Jesus cringe. That's actually super funny.
The reigning majority disagreed with the vibe he was putting out, so they hung him on a board.
Jesus put out a shitcoin called "God is my Father," and FUD. And then,
and Caesar was like,
years, they got listed on a centralized exchange in Rome, Constantinople, and then from then on, they just
the gospel according to tokens. Yeah. And the last thing I would say, okay, let me give you my final thought on that is, if the internet goes down, because a valid concern also, first of all, you could still use blockchain and cryptography to trade Bitcoin, but the bank would be, the grocery store would be, you'd have much bigger problems than how will I get my Bitcoin, which you could solve. I'm not so sure you could solve the banking crisis. I'm not sure you could solve the grocery crisis. I'm not sure you could avoid nuclear war. By the way, don't know if you guys watch the atomic clock or not, but they've been at 90 seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock. This year, it's the closest they've ever been. So we might not have to worry about it much longer anyway.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Yeah, just
nuke it.
Yeah,
let's just send it full send.
Yeah,
full send and nuke it. All right, fellas, are you well met? Do you want to give a final thought, a good joke, a word of wisdom on the way out of here?
I would agree with what Tori said. There's like no good time to ever end these things, because especially if we get Mack, then you can just talk for hours and hours and hours. I don't think it would be hard for us to run a 12-hour live.
36-hour live.
37. Yep.
37 hours. 37 hours. So I don't know. I just same time, same place tomorrow. Thanks everyone for hanging out. These are always fun and illuminating and enlightening. And the one bullish indicator, the biggest one that I have on this hodgepodge as a group here, and all of you in the chat, is I would challenge you to go and drop into the chat on any other crypto-based live and not want to bite the curb for yourself. So just, there's like so much more like valuable conversation happening down. Like it's a genuine struggle to keep up with comments, not because they're like ripping so fucking fast, but because like conversational points are just like deeper and more thought packed and whatever. So like that's the coolest shit ever. So just a resounding constant thank you to everyone who hangs out and help us bully Mack into doing this more often, because I love when all three of us are together.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Alex, Evan, and I have been working together for over 2 years now. So, and it all started here on TikTok, and then went to Discord. We all became buddies. So, always a pleasure hopping on here with you guys. Thank you for having me. It was really fun. I'm glad we got to talk to Daniel too. He's a homie. So,
that was a pleasant surprise.
Tori says, "Let's make you a Tuesday regular." That is already locked in, Tori. It's happening. So.
That's the plan.
Tuesday is the panel day. You don't get a choice anymore, people.
Yeah, I like it. So no, I'm well met. I mean, I'm bullish on crypto, bullish on the Rise Up morning show. I'm definitely gonna make a video about Christianity and shitcoins, and I'm gonna draw that in there. So look on that. But yeah, I'm good, man.
Okay, cool. Then let me say this. Thank you, first of all, for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you are not yet, please tap my face, tap Alex's face, and follow the links in our bio to subscribe for the newsletter. It is the briefest bullets from our show. It's a great way to help the show totally for free. You don't always have time to tune in, but you want the links. I'm going to put our recommendations for how to learn crypto, the articles we talked about, the different resources. I'm going to talk about the meme coin we watched rug yesterday. All the best links for the show are there and at the riseupmorningshow.com. You can find links to our YouTube where we post like walkthrough tutorials, how to do your own research, how to read a blockchain explorer, how to research tokens in the meme coin casino, all the stuff people ask us about all the time, totally for free there. And we've got the link to the Discord community. I need to add a link to the Warpcast channel, which we've got now. If you're not on Warpcast, what are you doing? Why are you still trying to get your alpha from TikTok? It is the place where you can go and hang out with Brian Armstrong. You can go hang out with Chris Dixon. You can go hang out with Jesse Pollock. If you don't know who they are, just get over there. Click my face, click Alex's face, use the referral link in our bio to help the show. Shout out to Tori, shout out to Robbie for hooking us up with the channel. It's warpcast.com/rise-up. But forget about it. It's all going on the website, theriseupmorningshow.com. We're going to be back tomorrow. We love you. We'll miss you. Until next time, my friends, thank you